Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family-owned and operated, because it's personal.
Informing Adelaide for 50 years. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 27. With the 4 o'clock news, good afternoon, I'm Mel Usher. There are tributes today for commentator Dennis Cometti after his death at 76. He called cricket and was an Olympics commentator, but was synonymous with AFL. Footy boss Andrew Dillon says he was a giant behind the mic.
Dennis is he's a member of the Hall of Fame. He's a legend of the game in so many ways. And he played footy at a state league level. He coached at a state league level. But I think what he'll be best remembered for from a footy point of view is just the way that he brought our game to life.
Foreign Affairs is deploying an extra 6 crisis response teams to various parts of the Middle East to help stranded Australians. More than 100,000 people are scattered across the region, caught up in retaliatory strikes by Iran against neighbouring countries. An Emirates flight with 200 Australians on board is making its way to Sydney from Dubai. It's due to land around 10 tonight. The federal government maintains commercial flights will be the easiest way out of the region as airspace gradually reopens. The opposition claims the Albanese government is responsible for fuelling the inflation fire as new data reveals the economy is growing. The national accounts show the economy expanded 2.6% over the year to December. Strong Black Friday sales and solid attendances for concerts and sporting events helping drive the result. But Shadow Treasurer Tim Wilson used Parliament to parody a Billy Joel song in a bid to downplay the result.
Do, 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 do. The Treasurer did start the inflation fire. The inflation's burning while the Treasurer's squirming. The Treasurer did start the inflation fire. Yes, he poured petrol on it and he cashed organised crime to fuel it.
Pedophile former magistrate Peter Liddy is due to be released from prison in June, but the state government is launching court action to detain him indefinitely. In 2001, he was sentenced to 25 years behind bars after being convicted of sex crimes against children. Parole Board Chair Francis Nelson, KC, says Liddy shows no remorse or empathy and blames his victims.
We've always refused Mr Liddy parole because essentially, even though he's elderly, we don't feel comfortable that he's still not a risk to the community.
The state government says a Greens proposal for a train to Mount Barker from Belair is not practical. The Greens are promising a $700 million rail extension with 5 trains capable of shifting from broad to standard gauge, allowing them to use the national freight line. But the government says the terrain and sharing the track with existing freight trains up to 2 k's long make it impossible. Treasurer Tom Coutson-Tonis says the Greens have wish lists that ignore practical realities.
The Greens often put up proposals that are all care and no responsibility, knowing they'll never have to actually deliver them. So whenever you hear something from the Greens, I take it with a pinch of salt.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Whether your block is the size of Adelaide Oval or the Gold Square, build with Sterling Homes.
New AFL Chairman Craig Drummond won't be drawn on his preference regarding the grand final time slot. And Brisbane is in the box seat to win the AFL Premiership in 2026, according to the captains of the 18 clubs. Both Adelaide and Port Adelaide players trained today. Opening round kicks off tomorrow night. Sydney's trade period recruits Charlie Curnow, Malcolm Roses Jr. and Jai Sarong will all make their Swans debut against the Blues at the SCG. While Gold Coast concedes it might be too soon for Jamara Ugle-Hagan to make his son's debut in opening round. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Glenunga. Got a big delay with a crash. That's at Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue heading towards the freeway. At Melrose Park, big delays there too. South Road at Raglan Avenue as they fix a road plate in the area around it. Taking a long time, this one this afternoon. And look out for activity at Kilburn. Another crash there, Churchill Road near Carroll Avenue. Camera, Hectorville Road, Hectorville. Support joint, heart and brain health with Blackmore's Omega Triple Super Strength Fish Oil at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Mostly sunny this afternoon, sunny tomorrow 27, the same on Friday and the same on Saturday. Right now it's 24 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglis. Tonight, the move to stop pedophile former magistrate Peter Liddy from living a free life. Homeward bound, the first commercial flights headed here since war broke out leave the Middle East. A legend of calling the football, Dennis Cometti, has died after a cancer battle. And why cruise companies are pulling ships out of Australia. 9 News. Your news. 9 at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, Always Adelaide.
Adelaide's only local sports show.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Coming up, we remember a revered voice of football, Dennis Cometti. Lee Matthews and Brian Taylor lead our tributes. Our Premier Peter Malinauskas joins us, and Adelaide Crow Wayne Milleray, along with your calls dedicated to Dennis.
Rowey and Timmy G.
The 5AA Sports Show.
Oh, thank you, Sammy. Look, a big show as we pay respect to one of football's best and most accomplished broadcasters in Dennis Cometti. Sadly passed away. So to his family, his friends, his colleagues, his former teammates, because he played at West Perth and coached them. Sincere condolences. Campo, welcome.
Thank you, Rowey. Yeah, sad day.
Yeah, it is. Look, it's a different sort of show. We're going to go and speak to a number of people. Brian Taylor's one, Lee Matthews very shortly. But I think what Richie Beno was to cricket broadcasting, I think Dennis Cometti was to footy. There was a lot of likeness there with their efficiency of words. It's a tribute that we want to pay from us at 5AA, because he was close to us here. I mean, if I've been doing this for 30 years, I reckon I've spoken to him 100 times. Whenever you met him in the media
centre,
he remembered your name. He gave you the time of the day, and I love people like that. Here's our tribute to the great Dennis Cometti.
Wilson, like a cork in the ocean over his head. Oh, my word. Wonderful chase by Heath Shaw. It came up behind him like a librarian. He never heard him. Centimetre perfect.
There's not enough superlatives for Dennis Cometti. He was so well prepared. His timing was impeccable. And he just had a voice that made you enjoy football because it sounded like he was enjoying it.
Just the way that he brought our game to life through his commentary. And it's a really sad day for the AFL, for the Cometti family, and our condolences go out to them. And he will be remembered so fondly by all of the AFL, whether it's some of the the incredible turns of phrase that he had, or whether it was if you're a player that played for him, or whether it was a teammate who played with him, or I know the people that worked with him either in radio or TV, they just loved him. So it's a really sad day.
Oh, this is interesting. It's a main event in any stadium in the world. Jenna pursued by Rowey. Rowey can't go with him. Jenna wins the gold medal.
He was loved right around the country. People would come up to him everywhere, call a line back to him, ask for a photo, ask for an autograph, and he always gave them an incredible amount of time and made them feel so special.
This for the game then. Kickers on the way. Sirens gone. They've done it again. They've done it again, the Cats. Tom Boyd goes long. How will it bounce? The stadium holds its breath. It's a goal. And the western suburbs erupt.
Dennis was the voice. Bruce ran the show, but Dennis was the star.
Hanbury to Malcheski. Is that the grand final? Sydney are premiers.
I reckon I'm the luckiest fella. I sat alongside of him for a long time on a Friday night.
Weren't they good days? Great days.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.
Oh, that was great. Well done, Sam and your team. Australian Football Hall of Famer. People don't know that about Dennis. One of this country's great broadcasters. We said that. Sadly, Dennis Cometti passed away. One of his, friends / colleagues was part of that dream team of Dennis, Bruce, and our next guest, the great Lee Matthews. Lee, a sad day as we farewell a giant in the field.
Yes, it always is, isn't it, Rowey? I knew that Dennis's health hasn't been too good in recent times, but I think his passing has come to a shock to everybody, and I guess now we kind of remember back on the legacy that he's left. But working with him and Bruce, alongside him and Bruce for half a dozen years there when I finished coaching it, they I guess those of us who sit there just talking about the game every now and again, the calling art to me, I just so much admire the way they go about it. And working with Dennis and Bruce was just one of the highlights, to be honest, of my football journey.
Yeah. What are some of your fondest memories of Dennis? Like, tell us about the man behind the microphone. Was he the same man in front of it? He was so humble. He never forgot a name. Yeah. He gave everyone the time of day, Lee. That's what I loved.
Oh, yeah, what you see, what you get. No, yeah. He wasn't a performer in the sense that he was a different person on air. I guess he was born with a fantastic voice, wasn't he? That lovely dulcet tones. And one of the things that I guess was interesting when you work with him, when he was setting up, he mainly watched the game on the monitor and called off the monitor. It seemed to me more than actually watching the field. But on his monitor there'd been all these post-it notes of little things that obviously he thought I might go to that if necessary in the call. So it's like as I mentioned, Bruce and Bruce McAvaney. When I think of Dennis, they prepare so well. They don't just turn up and think they're going to just do it. They prepare so well. And so a lot of those lines that are so famous that Dennis dropped were things that he'd thought about that he might be able to drop one day, and he was prepared for the moment. So. So not only did he call brilliantly, he was so well prepared. And as I say, always say the same about Bruce McAvaney. They prepare for their craft. They just don't turn up and do it.
Yeah, that's what made him a great. He had a sharp wit. So you're telling me he'd prepare a phrase or write it down. He'd have it on a post-it note and hope that moment come up. So like a librarian, how was he to know that smother on the goal line in that grand final on Rowey was going to happen?
Well, put it this way: he didn't have 1,000 post-it notes, and he probably came up with 1,000 lines over his calling. But he would have, would have certain things that he thought in this particular game, the players that are playing this particular game. There might be worth a go-to, a reference, as I say. But so many of them would have come off the cup as well. But he also had thought about the things that might come out in the game, and the individuals and the star players that were playing the game. Yeah.
Well, Lee, you talk about the preparation. I remember I was still playing when Dennis was obviously was commentating, and I remember walking into the club one day, and it was back in the dark ages where they used to send letters, and you have a mailbox in the foyer when you walk into the change rooms, and I opened up this letter, and it was probably around January or February, and it was from Dennis. And he'd actually written a letter, a personal letter, handwritten to 4 or 5 of the senior players at that stage around, some questions that he could actually, or some comments that he could actually use in his. So that's, you talk about preparation, and I think that's what he brought to the game as well, not just the football, but he talked about the players in a personal fashion, which endeared to the supporters.
And when you talk about the callers, he actually coached. He didn't. I always think that Bruce never played footy at a high level, but Bruce knew the game, knew how the game worked. But Dennis, as we know, he coached. He coached in the waffle, and obviously played in the waffle. So he had the playing coaching background as well as being able to do the calling art. So he kind of had that trifecta, really.
Well, he played under Polly Farmer at West Perth and kicked 64 in a year, and he retired at about 20 because he moved to the VFL. Thought he would be playing for Footscray, didn't, because his media career absolutely took off. We had Schwarter on in that tribute there, Lee, that said Bruce ran it, but Dennis was the star. Do you agree with that?
Oh, not by running it. I think they worked as a great partnership.
Didn't they?
They part of the calling is, I guess, every caller would want to be calling a grand final when the siren goes.
Yep.
But there's an element of sharing it, and that's certainly, if you talk about teamwork, and I talk about Bruce, but a lot when I think of Dennis, because that half a dozen years at 7 post coaching the Lions, but they were a team, and they would work together in the call really well, which I suspect in the calling art, your calling partner is really important, that you share the moments and you share the highlights and have a lot of generosity with each other.
Yeah. Lee, thanks for coming on. I know it'd be tough for you. You were all good mates and so close, for your kind words and memories. And as we say, condolences to family, friends and colleagues and teammates. Lee, you're a star. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. All the best.
Well done. Lee Matthews there. He's an AFL legend. I reckon it was about 10 or 11 years they were together. They were the dream team.
Well, you talk about, how good the commentators are. And you look now, and I think probably Matt Hill's the one now. So he does football, he does racing, he does athletics, he does the Olympics. They were probably the start of those. Him and Bruce were probably the ones, and maybe Sandy Roberts as well, where they were actually could do multiple sports. So they weren't just aligned to, say, just a horse racing or cricket or whatever. They could call any sport at any time.
That's a talent. Yeah. And you're right. 5 generations, Dennis. He started at the ABC in radio. He loved the radio medium. Ended up at Triple M. His last call was a waffle grand final. 16 AFL grand finals. 3 Olympics. Some of the most magnificent moments in the Barcelona, the Atlanta and Sydney Olympics. As I said, he coached West Perth. Actually coached against me. One of my fond memories of him is Mal Brown was my coach. We're talking early 80s. And he was a scruffy lad, unshaven, and we'd play West Perth, and West Perth was not like Claremont or Subiaco as an hoity-toity, upper class, but they were around the mark. He was immaculate. Like you're thinking, he talked immaculately when he was interviewed, he presented to the team. I don't think he would have ever sworn. He was such a gentleman, but I thought maybe he's not made for coaching, he's made for broadcasting, and he certainly was. 50 years at the highest level.
Well, I'm pretty sure his son's doing the stats for Triple M.
Was for a while there. I'm not sure if he still is.
Yeah, well, definitely was doing it last year, because I remember in the car on the way home, you might switch on to Triple M, or it might be on, and he's got a very similar voice to Dennis.
Deep.
Golden tonsils.
It's a real one of those ones that you go, geez, that sounds exactly like his dad. Yeah. The Beast, did they call him the Beast or something like that? Yeah.
Well, you think about having wit, being hardworking, having the voice like he did. You're a triple threat. Like no wonder he
You're
had.
bound to succeed if you do all those, aren't you?
That's a lovely story. So, can you remember what you wrote?
I can't. I was trying to when it came across it. I immediately went to that. When you reflect back on when people, do something, it was a bit the same. Like John Worsfold. Even when he was coaching West Coast, you would get a letter if you played 200 games. He would send you a personalised letter and say, congratulations on the 200 games, blah, blah, blah. Those things as a player, you actually remember. But the Dennis one, I absolutely remember getting the letter. And I thought it was because sometimes there's a bit of joking around the footy club or whatever. Yeah. But there was probably...
Dennis Committee's written me a letter.
But he did it to like Cooter and Lance Whitnell and some of the guys that have been around. So it wasn't a joke. But you literally... And then you felt obliged to write some stuff back for him, obviously, because he's put the effort in to send it. So those days is like not emails or phones where you could text. So it was a handwritten letter with a few questions around, where you're from, what are your interests, some of those sort of things. So it was good.
Lovely memories. So to our listeners, give us a call, 8223 0000. You might have a memory yourself, a fond tribute. He is an absolute giant in the game.
Favourite moment, maybe?
Yeah, favourite moment or favourite call or what is the call? We've got them all here. We'll play them through the show. But 8223 0000, and to his dear mate, Bruce McAvaney, he'd be really have a
heavy heart.
A heavy heart, that's the one. So to all his family, condolences once again.
There are some quotes attributed to Bruce that Channel 7 have released, so we might read them over the break as well. And we'll take your calls next. 8223 0000 is our number. It's 18 after 4.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
Here is a public service announcement. There is an industry-wide safety requirement to ensure all phones can connect to emergency services. If your phone is running an outdated software or purchased overseas, you need to take action. Some handy tips. Make sure your device has the latest software. You can easily check this within your phone settings or contact your telco for help. If you receive an SMS or email from your telco, follow instructions to ensure your phone is meeting the required standards.
Build like a brick house. Basic Trailers make quality trailers of all sizes here in Adelaide. Made with Australian steel, you get 12 months warranty and factory direct pricing across SA. Visit basictrailers.com.au. Basic Trailers. Basically better.
This Mad March, Adelaide comes together for one massive celebration. Racing, fashion, music and performers collide at Mad March's main event, the Sportsbet Adelaide Cup. From champagne pours and front row views to Club Largo, CC Giddy Up Club and Family Zone fun. Kids under 17 free. Trackside after racing, Shannon Knoll and the Jungle Giants DJ set. General admission from $35. Sportsbet Adelaide Cup, Monday, March 9 at Morfettville.
Are you aged between 18 to 65 and generally healthy? CMAX is looking for volunteers to join a clinical trial investigating a potential treatment for people living with the effects of a stroke. If eligible, you'll spend 3 nights at CMAX in Adelaide CBD, attend 1 follow-up visit and get paid for your time. Your participation could lead to important breakthroughs in medical research. Want to get involved? Apply at cmax.com.au.
Here is an important message from your engine.
It's time I put my foot down. If you want me to perform at my best, remember to add Flash Lube to our tank every time you fill up. We'll get greater fuel economy and a cleaner fuel system. Best of all, it'll keep me feeling young, so I can really take you places.
Flash Lube, available from your auto store and leading petrol stations. Remember to add Flash Lube fuel additives when you next fill up, and your engine will love you for it.
Star Discount Chemist's Big Brand Vitamin Sale is here. Big brand names at low prices, including Bioglan, Blackmores, Nature's Way and more. Go in store or online to shop. Always read the label and follow directions for use. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help?
Imagine waking up to a to-do list that includes
Ace. Don't you dare. Fancy a dance?
Downsize and upgrade your lifestyle at a Living Choice retirement resort and swap chores for choices.
Gotcha.
A choice of locations to live, passions to pursue, and ways to feel young again. For a limited time, enjoy a $10,000 lifestyle package. Conditions apply.
To happy days.
Visit livingchoice.com.au.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
So history, great build-up all week, and the record book will show Port Power have won the first showdown in Adelaide. Wait for the roar on the siren.
Dennis Committee, we are remembering him today after passing overnight, age 76. It's 22 minutes after 4. We're taking your calls, 8223 0000, your favourite memories of Dennis and your tributes as well. We'll do all that. And Brian Taylor from Channel 7 after 4:30. First, let's check traffic.
Afternoon at Glenunga. Got a smash to look out for Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue. Big delays heading outbound. Crash at Kilburn with delays too. Churchill Road near Carroll Avenue and super slow at Melrose Park. Repairs as they fix a road plate, South Road near Raglan Avenue. Cameras this afternoon, Grant Road, Ranella and Hectorville Road at Hectorville. Need car insurance? Get $50 off Amy Comprehensive Car Insurance when you get a quote and buy online. T's and C's apply. Lucky you with Amy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Okay, take your calls, 8223 0000. I like this one from Ange on the text line. Dennis, the most unbiased football commentator. You would not know in any game whether he was barracking for anyone or he had a team, still to this day. As much as he's a West Coast person, you would not have known.
No, you wouldn't have. Probably Bruce would be the same.
Oh, Bruce, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That's
whole era, I guess.
What's that one that you read from Bruce's?
Yeah, it was great. And it probably ties into the conversation we just had. Bruce, one of his quotes, perhaps the most impressive thing about Dennis is that through his calling, he made footballers famous. That's a gift. So he made the footballers personable to the people that were watching the game, not just as, X's and O's on the ground.
Great words, Bruce. Hello, Ange at Two Wells.
G'day, boys. Just following up on my SMS, I mean, I watched a lot of footy over the years, and like you just said, you wouldn't have a clue who he barracked for, never biased, never, called the game with his heart. There was passion, but it was football passion, not club passion, and I think that makes a big difference in everything. And I can't remember if I was corrected, but didn't he used to do the Saturday night footy on before the VFL days and so on? He used to have a line at the end. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something like "Hope to see you next week" or something. But he was a magic man. He'd be the Teddy Whitten of WA footy, I reckon.
Oh, he's like that to the whole of Australia, I think. He was adored, respected, revered. He had it all, and he was a great bloke. And when you put all that together...
You reckon the AFL will be black armbands, everyone?
Could be.
Yeah.
Well, he's Australian Football Hall of Famer, and I think when that echelon of persona passes, I think the AFL does
some sort of
pay a
respect for
tribute.
him.
I can imagine tomorrow night, so Channel 7 will be putting together a major package of some sort in the pre-game or half-time or something for Dennis. there may even well be a minute silence as well on the ground. Yeah. So those things
we got BT after 4:30. We may put that to him. He may not know. They might not have had their production meetings yet, but we've got BT after 4:30. Keep the calls coming in. Tributes to the great Dennis Committee. Hello, Andrew.
G'day, guys. Sad news today. He was a great part of football family overall. But there's one clear thing that stuck in my mind. When Ben Cousins had his misdemeanor and was in a bit of strife over there at West Coast, he came over and played with Richmond, didn't he, if I remember correctly?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Now, there was this classic call where, unfortunately, Ben Cousins had hurt his hammy or something and had to come limping off. And as the camera panned down to him, they were putting an ice bag on his hammy. And Dennis, through all his split-second wit, said, and Cousins is on ice. I knew exactly what he was, trying to.
Wow!
It was a classic moment in television, and he was just describing the scene. But I think we all know that it had an undermining suggestion.
Did and again, because of his brilliance and his respect, he can get away with it. Now imagine me saying it. Oh, you disrespectful fat so and so. But when he says it. It does. It's true.
You don't have to put yourself down like that.
Well, it's true. I'm just being honest, Campo. Hello, Troy at Collie. He'll agree.
Not about me or you today, Rowey. Come on. Hey, boys. As you know, from WA, obviously, I've been listening to the local, your sister station over here, 6PR, and very heavy heart all over the state and. All over Australia for the great Den. Couple of things I'd like to bring up is my own suggestion was that maybe they should call a street, Dennis Committee Drive or something like that. But there's been, and the good thing is, as I don't know if you've called over here, have you, Rowey, at Optus?
Have I called it Optus? No, I've been to Optus when I was the chairman of selectors for the state team and that, but no, we haven't called interstate since COVID. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, no, well, one good thing about when Dennis was still alive, they named the media centre thereafter in the Dennis Committee Media Centre.
Yes.
And, of course, thereafter, I'm pretty sure the family will be offered a state funeral. And here's one better than Malcolm Blight's statue. Somebody suggested you push a button and have all the famous words. But the Port Adelaide connection, boys, I don't know if you've got it there or not, but if you remember, Josh Carr wore number 9 for Port and his brother Matthew Carr wore number 9 for the Dockers. And it went Dennis's comment went along the lines of, here we have a car crash and they've got the same rego.
Thanks, Troy. Well done, mate. Footy's back. We got Troy on the line. You've got a tribute from Bruce.
Yeah, we were just reading a portion before Campo from Channel 7's statement. Bruce McAvaney did say in some quotes, on a personal level, I feel like I've lost something truly precious. We shared an extraordinary journey. We were a similar age and at similar stages in our lives, and we both understood the pressure that came with the role, the effort it demanded, the vulnerability that came with trying to live up to expectations. We leaned on each other through that. We had each other's backs always. And while Dennis and I started our careers as colleagues, we ended as friends, and I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, Valet Dennis Committee, keep the calls coming in.
We will get to a break, the headlines, and Brian Taylor to share his tribute as well next.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
When you think of single malt Scotch whisky, you might imagine Scotland's green hills, her fresh babbling brooks, and rows of oak barrels. But you can get the same feeling right here in Adelaide when you walk down the aisles at Powell's. Sam and Jamie from Powerfield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can guide you through Scotland's best whisky labels and the best from around the globe, all under one roof. Powerfield Airport Liquor Store. Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
From Cairns to Canberra, Perth to Port Macquarie, you can rely on Red Spot to provide the perfect ride for your next holiday. We're the only Aussie family-owned and operated car rental company in airport terminals and cities all over Australia, with a new fleet and 100% local Aussie service. And right now, Red Spot is giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. Book direct and save at redspot.com.au/radio. T's and C's apply.
What's worse than running out of gas during the Christmas barbecue or the gas burner cutting out right as you're cooking your favourite steak?
Come on.
At Max Built Trading Co, we've been keeping barbies sizzling and meat medium rare since 1946. From refilling gas bottles to those hard-to-track-down spares for your gas burner, Max Built has quality products and reliable solutions for all situations. Visit us at Research Road, Paraka, or head to our Facebook page for more.
Footy's back, and so is all the action at Tyre Power. Celebrate the start of the season with the team from Tyre Power, and you'll get the power to buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Pirelli tyres. Buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Pirelli tyres, but only at Tyre Power during their Footy's back sale. It's time to tackle road safety with a new set of tyres at Tyre Power. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local independent owner.
At first, you tell yourself, it's hard, but you can manage caring for a loved one at home. Eventually, you realise you can't do this alone, not safely. Unlike regular care, Yellow Door Care is nurse-led care at home. Yellow Door's registered nurses guide decisions, monitor change, and step in early when needed. Nothing is left to chance. You're not giving up. You're doing what's right. yellowdoorcare.com.au. Nurse-led care at home.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good afternoon. Mel Usher with the 4:30 headlines. Commentator Dennis Cometti is being remembered by everyone from Bruce McAvaney to Eddie Maguire after his passing. The Australian share market has taken a significant hit today in the wake of the conflict in the Middle East. It's a hive of activity at Adelaide Oval as final preparations are made ahead of tomorrow night's Ed Sheeran concert. And in sport, Formula One driver Oscar Piastri has taken time away from his car to do an in-store appearance at a Bunnings in Melbourne. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, quite a few crashes to keep across on the drive home. One at Glenunga, Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue, causing delays outbound towards the freeway. Another crash at Paradise, Darley Road near Walker Avenue, and a smash at Kilburn with big delays too. Churchill Road near Carroll Avenue. Very slow South Road at Edwardstown and Melrose Park as they fix a road plate through there just near Raglan Avenue, and a camera Lefevre Terrace, North Adelaide. Shop Austell on half price off RRP in-store and online right now at Chemist Warehouse. Quick, Starlands March 11. Excludes bulk sizes. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast down to 13 tonight, sunny tomorrow 27. Right now it's 24 degrees. We'll have more news at 5 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
It's just finally, it is your last grand final. Let me say that you have a gift. You've left a legacy, and the stat that comes to mind for me is this one, that for more than 30 years you've enriched the lives of millions of Australians every week of every football season. And I mean that so sincerely. No one's irreplaceable, Dennis, but there's only one committee. Thank you very much.
Well, Bruce, the gift I've got is your friendship. Well, thank you very much.
Very kind on the 2016 grand final coverage. The very end, a goodbye between the two. A great partnership. It's 27 minutes to 5. 5-decade-long career.
Yeah, footy on 7 returns. Sydney Swans take on Carlton. Kicks off the season at the SCG this Thursday. It's live and free from 6:30 on 7 and 7 Plus Sports. Joining us is 7AFL's lead man on a Thursday night. It is a ripping team. I speak of Brian Taylor. BT, welcome.
Rowey, how you doing, buddy?
Good, my man. Be remiss of us not to mention Dennis and the loss. A great colleague and broadcaster he was, BT. And in actual fact, you replaced him.
Yes. What a great man he was over many, many years. As you just said, 50 years in the business is not a bad innings. really took off when Channel 9 won the footy rights and had 5 years there. And I know he did a lot of work before that, but I think Channel 9 sort of helped turn him into a superstar, turn himself into a superstar, really. But he was unmatched, unequalled. He was simply brilliant at what he did.
My word, lovely words. I think Seven had already had a doco out of Dennis, Centimetre Perfect. That's going to play on 7, BT.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's out yet. I don't think it's been fully made yet, so I'm not sure whether that's right. I could be wrong, but I did hear today that that's
beautiful,
very much in the making still.
Well, I'd imagine Thursday night, I don't think you've had your production meeting, BT, or even if you go to them, but I'd imagine if we all tune in on 7 and 7 Plus, we'll see a tribute to Dennis tomorrow night.
Yes, I'm sure there'll be something. I believe there's something at half-time during the game. There's a tribute before the game tomorrow night on 7 for the Bondi massacre victims.
Okay.
So we've got that to get through, and then the sad news of the passing of the great Dennis Cometti. We'll be having a bit of a feature at half-time to honour what he's done over his career as well. But, you know, you could have a 5-hour show and you would fill it easily with Dennis Cometti highlights.
Well said. And again, condolence to his family, colleagues and friends, Campo, Dennis Cometti, and keep the calls coming, and we love your tributes. Hey, BT, footy's back Thursday night and you lead the way. Cannot wait. Now, do you care who wins the Kerno Cup tomorrow night?
No, I don't care who wins, but I do care that it's a good game. I know Sydney's very much looking forward to it. We've toured the Sydney facility today and spoken with Dean Cox and Matthew Pavlich and a whole heap of others up here. So it's been a great day and they're very much looking forward to it. Sydney are quite buoyant because they believe that they were without a good portion of their team last year, lost, what did they win, 4 of their first 12 games, I think. So they're expecting a better start this year. And when you look at what they have to put on the deck in the first game, really all but maybe Campbell is available. So they're going to be ultra competitive.
Yes.
And the Blues, well, I'm not sure where the Blues are going to finish, but as you and I both know, it doesn't matter where you finished on the ladder last year. All teams are competitive, particularly in the early rounds of footy.
BT, do you like the opening round, the way they do it, or would you prefer to see everyone just roll out the same week and get the season rolling?
Oh, no, look, I'm happy for it. I think it puts New South Wales and Queensland in the spotlight. I'm not sure quite why we've got a game in Melbourne on Sunday night. I know it's great for Channel 7 and great for ratings, but in terms of shining the spotlight on New South Wales and Queensland, I'm not sure it helps. But at least Queensland and New South Wales get the opportunity to have a go before that happens. So I think football in this state, New South Wales, needs an opportunity like this to be able to do it by themselves in fresh air with nothing else around them. They've filled the SCG for Thursday night's game, so 40,000 expected at this game. Charlie Curnow, as you mentioned in the introduction there as well, along with Florent and Haywood as well. It's going to be a fantastic game, and we're looking forward to seeing how it pans out. The weather's been pretty good up here today, so it should be a cracker.
Yeah, well, last year we're just about hurricane with the wet weather last year. It was horrendous.
Yeah.
Now, you're obviously calling, BT. You do a wonderful job, as we know. Who are the current players that you love to commentate?
Oh, just anyone that's exciting. I mean, I guess I like, you know, if you're asking what sort of player I like to commentate, it's one that can win the game for his team and one that can lose the game for his season, for his team as well. They're the ones that give you the genuine excitement as a caller, you know. So players like that. I mean, Jake Stringer comes to mind in the last few years. You know, he can win a game off his own boot, but he can also effectively lose the game off his own boot. You know, they're the sort of players where you get this real up and down ability, and because we all know that someone like Nick Dacos is just brilliant all of the time, but you don't know that about other players. So that's the type of player. You know, Leon Davis springs to mind from a few years back as one of those players as well. So that's the type of player I love to call.
Is today's footy commentary, I mean, we've spoken about Dennis at length, is it more about entertainment rather than now than when you started in terms of the entertainment side of the game versus the actual product of the game?
Broadly speaking, there's a little bit of that, but it depends who you're working for.
Yep.
For example, on 7, we have a very broad range audience. So the young kid who's 5 at home up to the grandma and grandpa age. Whereas Fox would be very, very different to that. And then you guys on radio as against Triple M or whoever the other stations are, 3RW, Calling Football, whoever they are, they're all different audiences. And some of them like entertainment and some don't. I think that's why it's important to have callers that can do both. So my calling partner, Hamish McLaughlin, and myself are very different the way we go about it, and we hope to cover off a good portion of the audience by having that. But make no mistake, people don't watch the footy or listen to the footy on radio or watch it on TV because of who's calling. They watch it or listen because of who's playing.
Yep.
And in the end, that's what matters.
I love you and Hamish. I think it's a great match-up on a Thursday. Kane Corns, who is an ex-colleague of mine, he's on there. I love it when you fight with him, BT. I love it when you make it awkward. That's like great listening.
He's like a detonator. He's just letting off bombs all the way through the game, and then he expects me to get involved in one of the bombs he's just set off. And I want nothing to do with it. Yeah. You get sucked into it because he's he's just great. He's been great for footy, regardless of what you think about Kane Corns. He's got an opinion. It's strong. It's normally right, and it's well researched. Yeah. But the thing about footy is everyone can be right. It's such a subjective game.
Said. Yeah.
Yes, Kane Corns' view is right. So is yours, Rowey. So is mine. And we can all be talking about the same thing, and we're all different. Yeah. That's what footy is. It's subjective.
It is well said. Look, I love Kane. I say to my colleagues here, BT, don't let me drag you down. If I get below the belly button, you stay above it. Do not let me drag you down, BT.
That's bloody hard, BT, let me tell you.
That's exactly right. Because we're all different personalities, right? So, you may have a different attitude and someone else has got a super positive attitude or whatever, but that mix works brilliantly. And you're right. Just do continue to do what you're good at. If you're doing something, if you're sitting next to Rowey, you need to be good to get the broadcast up, I'm telling you.
Now, are you still doing that Life for Brian? No, sorry, what was it called? Roaming Brian?
Yes, the podcast, the Life of Brian.
No, that's his podcast.
Adequate.
Yeah. Okay.
We've had some incredible guests on that, and it's just been good to be able to do it with your family and let people in a little bit more. So the Life of Brian podcast is absolutely firing at the moment.
Okay. What a great... Well, that was Monty Python. Did you like it? That is still one of the classic movies. Is that what you named it after?
What's his name again? What's his name?
John Cleese.
John Cleese. I went to see John Cleese about 3 years ago. Shane Jacobson, an actor friend of mine over here, you may remember him from the Dunning Man in the movie. He actually brought John Cleese out to do this sort of roast at Crown Casino, and it was absolutely unbelievable. That guy, just off the cuff, nothing prepared, was being bombarded by other comedians, and he just ripped them to pieces. He was brilliant, John Cleese.
He's a ripper. Agenda Setters on 7, The Front Bar on 7, Unfiltered and Sunday Footy Feast. It's all on 7. BT, have a great season, mate. We love catching up with you, not every week, but most weeks. Have a great call, and whoever wins the Curnow Cup, you don't care and I don't care. And
I care.
Carlton,
you do.
Sorry.
To get up,
Campo
BT.
cares, BT.
Well, of course he would. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, before we let you go, did I see a quote attributed to you that Victoria plays WA for the next 2 or 3 years in State of Origin? Let's just keep that trend going. And you're trying to bone us South Australians over here who made State of Origin?
Well, do you want the facts or do you want some Adelaide, bias? Because here are the facts.
Okay.
State of Origin football was born and bred in WA.
Correct.
The strongest, now just hear me out, the stronger competition was the WAFL for many, many years, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and perhaps even a tiny bit of the 90s. And then the SANFL became a strong competition in the 90s and the 2000s, and they were still playing some state footy then. And so most people's memories are of that South Australia versus Victoria, which were great games. But the underlying factor and the stronger competition prior to that was WA. And so those games were always the best games, and we used to whip South Australia's, or Victoria used to whip South Australia's backside, except for the odd occasion. So that is why I'm saying it. You've got gather round, they've got state of origin round. It needs at least one more year in WA against WA, and then we should bring in the South. In fact, I think to be successful, the thing that makes gather round successful is they play all of the games there over a 4-day period.
Yep.
What the state of origin needs is one other game to be played the day before the main game, and that could be South Australia versus Allies or South Australia versus Queensland, and then you know the following year you work out a way that South Australia can. I think you've got to have the two strongest states playing Victoria. You always need the villain playing the game, and the villain is Victoria.
Yeah, kick a Vic. We love that. Now for full disclosure, BT was born in WA. He's a West Australian from Mandurah that made his name in the VFL. So that's why you're pushing WA and bloody Victoria. Doesn't matter who plays, as long as we're playing the Vics and we kick them.
Yeah, and that's right. And, you know, we just need to play these games. The players worked out how bloody much fun it was. Yep. We worked out how much fun it was to see it back again.
Yep.
And we need to have these games. They are absolutely brilliant.
Hey, BT, have a great call tomorrow night. Love your work. Thanks for thanks for your tribute to the great man Dennis Committee. Well done, BT.
Thanks, guys.
BT, our guest. Keep your calls coming in. We've lost a great, and I don't say that lightly, a great in his field. His field was broadcasting. He's an Australian Football Hall of Fame. He's an AO. He's had every award and every accolade, and he sadly passed. So again, to his family, if you've got a tribute or a great one-liner or a Dennis moment, you know, this is your turn to pay your tribute. 822 0000.
And if you missed the start of our chat there with Brian Taylor, he did reference the fact that halftime tomorrow in the Channel 7 AFL game coverage, they'll have a tribute to Dennis, which is outstanding. And then, as announced earlier this year, 7 will broadcast a documentary into the life and career of Dennis Cometti later in the year, aptly titled Centimetre Perfect, and it'll be led by Bruce McAvaney.
And just on BT, you got to remember, they were hard shoes to fill. I know about it because I had to replace, not had to, I did, KG. It was KG and Cornsey for many years. KG is still with the show and he's just an icon. And they're hard shoes to fill because you don't want to be him, you want to be you, but you want to be as good as him. So, you know, you sometimes I feel like I've morphed into him in some ways, in some respects, but out of absolute respect because he is our broadcasting icon here. BT's similar. He replaced Dennis Cometti. Dennis Cometti's last grand final was 2016. BT's first grand final was 2017. I didn't have the couillons to say this to BT, but that was the reason we played so poorly, is because he called
if we're blaming
well, it was a long bow. I love BT, but it was 2017 against Richmond, his old team, one of his old teams.
Well, I wish he would have come and apologised to the playing group that he called it instead of going on the camp.
Oh, I know. Oh, it was,
That would have been
boom, bloody boom.
13-5, here's traffic.
Afternoon at Glenunga, a crash causing delays outbound Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue. Paradise, a crash there, Darley Road near Walker Avenue. And Coolburn, another crash with delays. This is Churchill Road near Carroll Avenue, very slow through there this afternoon. Busy Brighton Road, Brighton with the camera South Terrace and the Parklands. Carpet Court's big brand sale is on now. Save on carpet, hard flooring, window furnishings and rugs, plus and double Qantas points on now at Carpet Court. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
The company you keep keeps unpacking sport and entertainment's untold stories and keeps you part of rugby leagues in a huddle. Keep good company with the Backstage podcast.
Family First plans will take the pressure off families. They'll cut the cost of living, prioritize healthcare, get schools back to basics, and defend Australian values.
Vote 1, Family First, to take the pressure off families.
Authorised by Lyle Shelton Family First Party, Norwood.
At Coles, you can save all summer long. Right now, get half-price La Española olive oil 1 litre for just $13 each. Offer ends Tuesday. Excludes organic and Hoja Blanca.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen,
They've been raising the bar on servicing. It starts with next day servicing, free loan car, free vacuum and wash, and you can enjoy a free breakfast or lunch thanks to Villiers. Your car will be in expert hands with a state-of-the-art service centre and factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we look after you and your car. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. We've been helping Adelaide buyers and sellers for over 40 years. That's why so many South Australians look to us for real estate advice. Right now, in our Toop Vault, we're working with 8,794 buyers in Norwood, 7,809 in Rose Park and 7,751 in Toorak Gardens, all searching for their perfect property in these specific locations. If you're thinking of selling, visit toop.com.au.
At Mobile Auto Care, we're serious about keeping your car in tip-top shape without you having to leave home or work. We fixed that drop-off, wait, car's ready, pick-up problem. And for those bigger jobs, our new state-of-the-art workshop in Richmond is now open. It's bigger, better and busier. So we're looking for qualified mechanics to join our team. Interested? Call 8354 0055. Mobile Auto Care. Serious about bringing service to you.
Star Discount Chemist's Big Brand Vitamin Sale is here. Big brand names at low prices, including Bioglan, Blackmores, Nature's Way and more. Go in store or online to shop. Always read the label and follow directions for use. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help?
Are you recovering from injury or managing joint or muscle pain? Kiza Physiotherapy, Rehabilitation and Strength Training programs are your first step to moving with confidence. Discover the Kiza difference at our National Open Day, next Saturday, March 14 from 8 to 3. Learn how strength can support your long-term health. Try Kiza's exclusive Swiss-engineered machines and even test your strength. With 33 clinics nationwide, it's easy to get started at Kiza. Find a Kiza near you at kieser.com.au.
When you're hosting a family Christmas party, you might start with a go-to roast, a drama-proof seating plan, and that gravy recipe that's a family secret. But those in the know find all the answers in the aisles at Pal's. Sam and Jamie from Parafield Airport Liquor Store know every drop on the shelf. They can make sure you have the best wines, beers, and spirits for everyone. And great gift ideas too, all under one roof. Parafield Airport Liquor Store, Pals, next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
Pretty sad. He was a giant of broadcasting. He was an incredibly good father. He was a great husband. He was a mentor to me. I think if you said who are the two greatest multi-sports broadcasters in the history of Australian sport, it would be Dennis and Bruce, and they danced incredibly well together, and I got to watch them do that for a long time. Bruce remains a huge part of Seven, but the news came through. I was standing on the side of the SCG at about 9 o'clock this morning, and I got called by a guy called Josh Kay, who is the head researcher at Seven and has worked with Dennis for the best part of his career at Seven, and he told me the sad news, and I started crying, to be honest. It was, but he'll be missed.
8 minutes to 5. Hamish McLaughlin
Great
speaking
words.
on Dennis Committee.
Great words. Oh God, it's yeah. I mean, I'm not sad. It's a loss, but when it weighs heavy when it's such a big statesman-like figure. The texts that are coming in, gentlemen, brilliant, the best. What a partnership. I feel for Bruce and obviously all the family. They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. But you often wonder, you hear such beautiful tributes to people in this instance.
Yeah.
I just hope that those people actually felt like that before they pass away, that people actually thought about them like that. Because
I'm pretty sure they would.
Well, I hope so.
When you're at that ilk.
Because sometimes, it's easy not to say it, but then when they're not here, then people say it.
That's true. In the opener, I likened what Richie Benaud was to cricket, Dennis is to football. Like they were just the voice.
Did Dennis have a few more one-liners, though, than what Richie Benaud? I don't remember so much Richie Benaud commentating, but he was very clever with his
He was a
little
economy of
one-liners.
word.
Efficiency. His words, he didn't waste one. And when he spoke, you listened. What a great duo. Hello, Ian at One Tree Hill.
G'day, guys. Very sad news today when I found out. What came to mind straight away for me, it happened a few years ago, is he said the game's the game's not over yet until, and then the camera pans to this lady in the outer until that lady sings. Do you remember that?
I sort of can, yeah.
Is that him or Rex Hunt?
No, it was him, and he got in trouble for it. And he had to go and apologise to the lady.
Oh, no. Dennis got himself in trouble.
It was definitely Dennis, yeah.
Oh.
So anyway.
We pushed the barrow, he pushed the line and just snuck over it.
I don't reckon he would have pushed the line too much, certainly not as much as what I do, Campo. You sure it wasn't this lady here?
No, I haven't got it.
That's Rex.
Oh, God, I love him. They're both legends. Hey, Ian, thank you for that. Let's go to Kangaroo Island. Scotty.
Hey, mate. How are you? Just a couple of points, mate. You know, it's hard act to follow BT when he ended up speaking BS at the end of it. But anyway, I just wanted to actually, apart from the classics that everyone remembers, I just have a couple of personal ones that I remember of Dennis.
Yep.
97 grand final, mate, after the, of course, David Pittman scenario during the year. There was a boundary throw in, and Dennis's comment after the Crows had turned the game from pathetic to a premiership, you know.
Okay.
And then there was another one as well.
He didn't say
later
pathetic,
on,
he was pitiful. He didn't.
Okay.
From pitiful to premiership, he must have said. Didn't he say pitiful,
enough,
Pittman?
mate.
He didn't say pathetic.
It was pathetic.
Okay.
Oh, did he?
Okay, really? All right. But same context sort of thing, mate. And there was another one that I don't have context to in saying that we are battling on the logo, and I don't remember the players. But these are the things, mate, that stuck in my mind for the last 30 years, you know, whether I got the words right or wrong.
Thank you, Scott.
No, you were actually
You're
right,
actually
Scott.
correct. We've
You're
actually
right, yeah.
YouTubed it, and it, yeah,
Pathetic.
the words are there. Pathetic. It's a strong word, isn't it? Pathetic.
I'm not sure you'd want a coach saying that about your athletes.
Well, there's only one, Malcolm Blyant. He's got a statue at Adelaide Oval. So I reckon, quite frankly, he can say and do as he pleases.
Just before we go to the news, Bruce McAvaney has actually spoken to Channel 7 in front of a camera. There's some audio we can play you just before the news.
Today's an incredibly sad day. I feel like I've lost something very precious, that friendship. You know, we started as colleagues and finished as friends. Can you ask for any more than that? We were very close. We shared a common journey, similar age. We were both, I think, vulnerable to so many things together, and we backed one another up. There were high expectations around Dennis's performance. I understood that, and he understood where I was coming from as well. So we made, I think, a good team. We certainly looked after one another on air. We shared some wonderful moments together. And I feel, for me personally, it's one of the greatest privileges of my life that I had the chance to have that relationship over such a long time.
Bruce McAvaney, beautiful words. What a team.
Mm-hmm.
What a duo.
Yeah, what a duo. And it's often the case, isn't it? If you look at around the world, like sporting commentators, it's a duo. It's not very rarely is it one-off because you've got to be able to bounce off each other. And those two, I love Bruce. How good the way he speaks, and Hamish is very similar. Well, Hamish has come underneath. He was essentially the apprentice to those guys coming through. I think Hamish is one of the best interviewers I've ever seen.
I think he's one of the best performers. Yeah, he is top of the tree.
Well researched, balanced.
He's great.
No ego, the whole lot.
Yeah, he's a ripper bloke. Yeah, well said.
Reads it well. It's 2 minutes to 5. Wayne Miller from the Crows to join us after the news.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show. The events that shaped our state.
We had people screaming at us over the radio saying people's lives are at risk, and there have been people's lives lost. It was the hell that we will never forget.
Always Adelaide for 50 years. This is 5AA.
This state election, it's a fit-in with you thing, with more ways to vote than ever. Early voting period ends at 6 p.m. on Friday, March 20. Voting, it's a good thing. Authorised by M. Sherry, Electoral Commissioner, Adelaide, South Australia.
Celebrate Easter on a journey that feels special from the moment you depart. Holiday Wonders presents a hosted 9-day Sydney and Canberra Easter Parade Tour, departing Adelaide on Monday, March 30. Travel to Sydney aboard the iconic Indian Pacific, then on to Canberra in first class on the scenic Explorer train. The highlight is a full day at Sydney's Royal Easter Show on Good Friday, plus quality accommodation, meals and sightseeing. Secure your place. Book now at holidaywonders.com.au.
Okay, ABBA Tragics, get ready for a night of music, fun and a full throttle of ABBA madness like never before. Dancing Queen, the ABBA tribute show, is an interactive dinner experience that takes the magic of ABBA to the very next level.
Oh, God, they were great.
How good's that song?
I mean, basically grew up, I had two younger sisters that just loved ABBA. In actual fact, everyone loved ABBA. I think I might even go to this. Treat yourself to a high-energy, immersive experience where you won't just watch the show, you'll live it and you'll sing it and you'll clap and you'll dance, you'll do everything. This is just a tribute. It's a party, eh? Whether you're an ABBA super fan or just love a good time, this glamorous, fun-filled extravaganza will have you laughing, singing and dancing all night long, like a dancing queen.
So grab your sequins, round up your dancing queens and get ready for an unforgettable night of ABBA-fueled excitement. Dancing Queen, the ABBA tribute show, is on March the 10th to 15th. Book at fringetix.com.au.
Adelaide Renault's Group is your local Renault crew who treat every project like it's our own. From kitchens to bathrooms and full home transformations, we bring design, care and inspiration to you with our mobile showroom. Visualise your renovation design in your home in real time. Discover what's possible. Get an instant quote and create the space you love, the one that truly feels like home. For inspiration and information, visit adelaidebuildingandrenos.com.au. Adelaide Renault's Group, your home, only better.
Connected to our community for 50 years. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Down to 13 tonight, sunny tomorrow and 27. With the 5 o'clock news, good evening, I'm Mel Usher. Dennis Cometti is being remembered as the consummate commentator following his death at 76. His broadcasting career spanned more than 50 years. Footy great Lee Matthews telling 5AA he prepared before every call.
I guess he was born with a fantastic voice, wasn't he? That lovely dulcet tones. And he mainly watched the game on the monitor and called off the monitor, it seemed to me. On his monitor, there'd been all these post-it notes of little things that obviously he thought I might go to that if necessary in the call.
The first group of Australians to leave the Middle East since fresh hostilities broke out will land in Sydney late tonight. More from Michael Packy.
It was just after 2 o'clock this morning, 200 Australians were on board Emirates flight EK414 in Dubai, bound for Sydney. These are the first people to get out of the Middle East after Iran launched retaliatory strikes against neighbouring countries. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has told Parliament everything possible is being done to deal with the unfolding situation.
The safety of Australians in the region is our government's first priority.
Opposition leader Angus Taylor says the coalition is backing the efforts
to ensure that Australians can get back to safety as soon as possible.
Foreign Affairs has sent an extra 6 crisis teams to various parts of the Middle East to provide consular assistance.
An update today on the plane crash south of Adelaide last month that claimed 3 lives. The Cessna plunged into the water off Goolwa 13 minutes after takeoff on February 6. A preliminary report from the ATSB has been published. It says key parts of the wreckage are still missing, including the engine, propeller and rudder. The union representing retail employees says giving workers an extra week of annual leave would boost productivity. The federal government is being lobbied to increase paid holiday entitlements from 4 to 5 weeks each year. Big business groups argue the move would put more strain on their operations, but National Secretary of the SDA, Gerard Dwyer, says giving workers more leave would benefit the economy.
It will also help the productivity debate. If people they can actually see something by working harder, they'll be more inclined to get on board with a debate that this whole community is having around productivity. At the moment, our experience is working people are turning off.
Experts say a drop in the number of breast cancer-related deaths is thanks to better screening and earlier diagnosis. A study shows deaths have fallen by more than 40% in the past 30 years. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Whether your block is the size of Adelaide Oval or the Gold Square, build with Sterling Homes.
New AFL Commission Chairman Craig Drummond has outlined his focus for the role, football, fans and the future. Drummond insists his ties to Geelong, which includes serving as president, won't impact his decision-making.
I've supported Geelong for 60 years, but I can sit here today and say that my loyalty to the game transcends my loyalty to any club. So I just wanted to make that very clear. It's a question I've had on a few occasions already.
Crow Wayne Miller says he's feeling good as round one looms. He says he's in good physical and mental space heading into his 11th season. Adelaide kick off their 2026 campaign against Collingwood at the MCG on Saturday, March 14. Formula One driver Oscar Piastri has taken time away from his car to do an in-store appearance at a Bunnings in Melbourne. He's counting down to the first race of the year at Albert Park this weekend.
I feel like every year we design a new car. It's got some new challenges with putting it together, and for the mechanics there's always new challenges and kind of new solutions.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon at Glenunga, a crash, Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue. Paradise crash there too, Darley Road near Walker Avenue. And taking a while to fix this one, repairs at Melrose Park, fixing a road plate, South Road near Raglan Avenue. Slow going, Bryson Road, Glenelg East with the Canberra Fitzroy Terrace, North Adelaide. Get Blackmore's half price off RRP right now at Chemist Warehouse. Excludes bulk sizes, Salines Much 11. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 13 overnight, sunny tomorrow 27, Friday sunny 27, Saturday sunny and 27, and the same again on Sunday. Right now it's 25 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
I'm Brenton Raglas. Tonight, the move to stop pedophile former magistrate Peter Liddy from living a free life. Homeward bound, the first commercial flights headed here since war broke out leave the Middle East. A legend of calling the football, Dennis Cometti, has died after a cancer battle. And why cruise companies are pulling ships out of Australia. 9 News. Your news. 90 at 6 on 9 and on 9 Now.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family owned and operated, because it's personal.
Let's take a moment to listen. At Improving Lives, that's where care begins. And when we listen, we hear more than medical needs. We hear the fear of loneliness, which is why care doesn't stop at the front door. Through our care and wellness programs, we create places for connection, movement and belonging, so your loved one isn't just cared for, but included. Improving Lives Aged Care and Disability Support. Different by listening.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide. Adelaide's only local sports show, the 5AA Sports Show.
Still to come, your flowing tributes as we remember Hall of Famer Dennis Cometti. Adelaide Crow Wayne Miller on the eve of opening round. We'll speak to our Premier Peter Malinauskas and go in depth on the Australian Formula One Grand Prix.
Rowey and Timmy G. The 5AA Sports Show.
Certainly is that, Campo. We opened with the news and got into work today that the great Dennis Cometti had passed, and again, condolences to his family and everyone. We're having tributes, having a lot of texts come through and calls on 8223 0000, the sport line number. Just a wonderful man. Wonderful man. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Crows have the weekend off to get some players fit for round one versus Collingwood. On the line, he's not. Well, that's what I was bloody pointing to.
The first time doing radio. Wayne Miller is not quite up on the line. We'll get him in just a moment.
I'm pointing to it. If somebody could fair dinkum. Anyway, he's on now. Wayne will join us.
No, hold on.
He's not? Okay.
Hold a minute. Just hold a minute.
It's 5:08.
Just hold a minute.
Do you want to read a text?
We can read a text.
I can read a text.
We were talking about Dennis Cometti in the last hour as well. There's plenty there. Here's a story from Matthew Richardson. Love hearing the tributes throughout the day as well. On 3AW, Matthew Richardson did speak about Dennis.
I jumped in his car and it was a 20-minute car ride back, and it was just fascinating chatting footy with him. But he wanted to talk music. He was a great music lover because his first love was he wanted to be a DJ on radio, and he was on the top 40.
He was not. He loved his music. Absolutely loved it.
I did not know that.
No.
A bit like Juniper, Timmy Juniper.
Yeah. Richo loves his music. He always has. They would have had definitely a lot of conversations around that because Richo loves going to live bands, and because Brad Pearce, an ex-teammate of mine, he used to have one of those places where you go and watch live bands, and Richo and Matty Allen and Benny Harris, and we always used to go down there. He loved it, Richo. Yeah. Talk about loving it. Our next guest.
Oh, well.
Can you have favourites?
I think he's one. I don't think you can have one, but he is
he was
certainly
one of mine.
Up there
unashamedly.
with one of yours. He's a gun halfback flanker, running and creative machine. We speak of Wayne Miller, Jr. Welcome.
G'day. Hey, how are you?
Hey, you just heard from Campo. You were one of his favourites.
Yeah, thanks for that, Campo. You're one of my favourites too.
That's a bit of a love-in. Hey, you look like you've had a really good off-season, Junior. I know it's only 2 trial games, but, God, you touch, you run, you finished the last year off so strong. Your body's great. Have you had a good off-season?
Yeah, no, it's been very good. I think it's just I sort of see the complete two differences of like my last year sort of off-season, pre-season. Being a bit limited in terms of just coming off the knee and then sort of getting thrown in after Christmas, but then being able to this year have that whole off season to do the main program and then have pre-Christmas and then the whole summer after Christmas as well. So I feel like I'm feeling fit at the moment. I'm pretty confident in my body and confident in my touch and stuff like that. So. I just guess I'm just playing a bit freely, which is when I think I play my best footy, which has been nice.
Oh, absolutely. You look very sharp. We got round 1 coming up. We got the weekend off. That's versus Collingwood at the MCG. Are you predominantly training as that creative halfback flanker, or have they looked at you on the wing, or maybe even forward? What are the roles predominantly that you think you'll play this year?
Yeah, no, it's predominantly just at halfback. Sort of try and get in that higher layer of halfback and just play off there. So that's where I'll be for the majority of the year. I would have thought, unless I need to give a chop out elsewhere. But that's where I've trained most of the summer.
Junior, do you think you could take your game a bit like Nasai's done at St Kilda? He started at halfback. You got very similar traits. Do you think that you could still progress into the midfield and have an impact like he's done?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something, I haven't really thought of too much, and just, I guess, nailing down my role at the moment, and that's sort of, I guess that's sort of, it hasn't been really much of a thought, to be honest with you, but, it's getting that half-back role done and doing what I need to play my role, and then letting the guys in there do what they do.
Well, it's been well documented, mate, around some of the injuries that you've had. How many is too many going into round 1?
Yeah, look, it's been pretty well documented, but there's fingers crossed that all the boys will be all right to go for round 1. I don't know what the number is, too many, but I think a lot of them are be training fully this week and then ramping up for next week and getting ready to go for next week. So hopefully it's they're doing everything they can at the moment to get themselves right for round 1.
And you were pretty well undermanned. I mean, 9 or 10 arguably out of your best team or the team that played in the final series last year. What came out of the review in terms of, we heard some commentary around they were proud about the effort. You guys always give effort. We always see that. You never give in. But what were you happy with? Because for me, watching the game, Junior, and commentating, I thought your defensive transition, particularly on turnover and your ability to score off that, probably wasn't at the level that we've seen in 2025.
Yeah, no, it probably wasn't. I guess the thing coming off the back of that is probably we found a couple of boys there that if their chances come throughout the year that we know that they're ready to go. With the injuries out that we had, but Charlie Edwards played some good footy, I thought, on the weekend, which was probably a standout for me. But I guess in terms of the defending the full ground, we had a couple of times. And it's for us, it was probably just minor tweaks that we can adjust to our game, and and get back to that. So I don't think it's not a massive worry for us. I think we just some couple of little minor tweaks and it fixes that up and we're right to go.
We did have a bit of a giggle. How breezy was it? Because Nick Murray launched one in that first quarter and it did go to the back of the circle, and then FIVEAA followed up with one very similar in the next quarter. How windy was it?
Yeah, it was very windy. I don't know if it looked that windy on TV. Even a couple of boys saying when we come back that it didn't look too bad watching. But yeah, it was. It definitely had a one end. I mean, Nick Murray kicks a bomb in general, but yeah, he flushed that one. He
flushed it, yeah.
It's gone, buddy. It ended up being inside 50 almost.
Yeah, it was.
Tap on. So, yeah, look, it was pretty windy, but you got to adjust your game to the game styles to the conditions. And I thought it was sort of different games within the game, wasn't it? Like I guess the first and the third quarter were playing with it, and then we had to adjust quite in the second and fourth. But just on that, how was Marshy's goal too?
Yeah,
from 70, mind you. So that was pretty nice to see as well.
It was Junior, our guest, Wayne Miller. We play Saturday week Collingwood at the MCG. We'll be calling it. What's the program from here, Junior? Is it flat out? Or you got the weekend off, or give us a bit of the rundown of the program.
Yeah, so a bit of a run around. That was a bit of a run around today, like main session. I think on Friday it's pretty much a couple of quarters. So have a bit of a crack there, and then the weekend off, and then we just roll into pretty much a normal week. So we'll main train next Wednesday, and the sort of skill session on Monday, get us tuned up to go for round one, which will be everyone will be looking forward to and pretty excited for.
I reckon if you didn't train fully today in the main session, you'd be in doubt for that Saturday week game, although you did say you're going to play 2 quarters. So Riley Thilthorpe trained today?
Nah, they just managed him, just looking after the big fella.
Okay, he's back. Archie?
Yep. Cow Archie trained today.
Good.
Him and Isaac had a little run around. I think they were maybe in and out, but they had a run around.
That was Isaac coming. Berry, is he back?
Bear's trained. Yep, Bear's trained.
Okay. Peatling? Maybe not.
Good question. I think he was in a bit of rehab, but yeah,
Okay.
I guess the main one is the Friday that 2
That's
quarters.
the one. Okay.
If you're training that, you're giving yourself every chance, I guess.
My word. And Jakey Saligo is the one. Has he bounced back from that little procedure?
Yeah, he's going well. He's in good spirits, and he's good being back around the boys.
Good on him.
Getting around him, which is good.
Yeah, you only have one heart.
You do.
Got to pump a bit.
You do.
Hey, the new rules, Junior. I know it's only a small sample size. Do you feel the game's going to speed up?
Yeah, I guess that's what they're sort of promoting. But I mean, I guess I haven't really noticed it too much.
Okay.
But the out of bounds rule, you sort of don't even sometimes really notice it until it happens. But I guess the stand rule is probably the one that will get a couple, and it's just a matter of working it out. And I mean, you always find ways around it, don't you?
Yeah. Well, coaches do. The interesting one, park the ruck work. I reckon they'll get that right. I love that they're throwing it up and the ruckman can just crack in. And we had the GM of footy say, if there's PCLs, he'll change it back. But the one I think Campo and I are most interested about is the prior opportunity, the ducking, shrugging and all that sort of stuff. Do you get instructed how to meet a contest, or you've got to give the first give? How will the players get around that they don't get pinged?
Well, I guess it's just we do a lot of training, sort of. I guess both sides of it. You tackle make and tackle breaking tackles. So I guess you don't get really instructed too much. If it's sort of just footy, isn't it? You just get the ball, and I don't know if you want to try and break a tackle, but keep it pretty simple.
Junior, keep it simple.
Well, they can't tackle in.
No,
so don't worry about that. You keep doing what you're doing, Junior.
God.
Let the umpires make a decision.
That's it.
I went back and had a look, Junior. You talk about, sometimes you can't win a premiership in the first month, but you can definitely lose it, is the old saying we used to say in the coaches' box. Last year you started with St Kilda, Essendon, North and the Suns, and you got beaten by a point up there in a close one. So you were 3-1. This year, obviously, with where you finished on the ladder, the AFL doesn't quite give you the easier draw, for want of a better word. You've got Collingwood away, Bulldogs home, Geelong away, and then Fremantle. That's a pretty tough month to get going.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I guess that's the privilege and reward that, you know, you get of finishing high up on the ladder. You get to, you know, playing some big games against some good teams and really test yourself out and see where you're at for the year. So, you know, a lot of night games in that there, which is what we want, and you want to play in them games. So it's going to be exciting. I guess we'll really see where we're at and over that first month.
The other one I'm interested in, Junior, and you probably may or may not have the answer, is now not getting well, the good thing is they got rid of the sub rule, so you've got an extra player on the bench.
Yeah.
You hear coaches over the commentary, and we spoke to Muzz before the game about, you know, might be horses for courses. Do you think you'll go the two rucks with, you know, either Riley or Lockie and throw in Toby Murray, or do you think it'll just be one and then use a little bit of Riley Thilthorpe?
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure. It'd be interesting to see how they go about it. It might be even a sort of game-by-game thing, maybe potentially. I don't know. If they think we need more run, then that might be the option. Or, you know, if it's two rucks, it might be that. So I don't actually know the answer. But, yeah, I guess, see how it goes.
Junior, mate, have a great year. Your best is just better than most. If you stay sound, I think we're in for a fantastic, year and season ahead with our best 25. I still think we're good enough for a top four. As always, Junior, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Great work, Wayne Miller. Just yes. I used to always say, I can't wait for the day I see Seedsman, Wayne Miller and Brodie Smith in the same team.
Yeah.
And it was always imagine
one missing.
There was always one missing. And generally back then it was Wayne, but he's got his body right.
No, he has.
He's an elite talent, isn't he?
I remember when he did his shoulder. We played him as a high half forward. We finally got him fit.
Yep.
And we said, let's get him up the ground around the stoppage so he can use his speed and get out of there. And he dislocated, I don't think it was either a collarbone or something. Okay. Absolutely rock and rolled out of the stoppage. And that was it. We lost him. And that was it. And so then we said, no, that's no good. Let's put him at half-back or wing and get him out of there because he was just too important.
Oh, I know.
He was just too important.
Ball in hand. I see what they're trying to do with him, and he did say that high half-back. So you basically play like a wingman anyway. If you read it like he does, many a time you see him breaking through the middle, and he's that last kick inside 50. Got an elite leg. He's a highly skilled player.
I asked that question because I generally think he can have that influence. Like
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah. Oh, I generally think he can progress in there.
How is that?
Imagine him around the middle of the ground.
Hasn't. Well, he's playing Saturday. He's top 5 in the AFL now.
He's getting paid like a top 5, so he'd want to be. He was pretty good last year.
Exactly. God, he had a good year, didn't he?
He was great to watch.
Your calls after this, 22 after 5. Let's check traffic.
Afternoon at Glenunga, a crash, Glen Osmond Road near Glenunga Avenue. Paradise, a crash there. Darley Road near Walker Avenue and Melrose Park. Look out for a few delays there as they fix a road plate, South Road near Raglan Avenue. Busy at the moment, Main North Road, Enfield slow. Tapley's Hill Road, Glenelg North, kind of always is this time of the afternoon. And a camera Walkerville Terrace at Gilberton. Get Blackmore's half price off RRP right now at Chemist Warehouse. Excludes bulk sizes, silence much 11. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowey and Timmy G.
Family First plans will take the pressure off families. They'll cut the cost of living, prioritize healthcare, get schools back to basics, and defend Australian values.
Vote 1, Family First, to take the pressure off families.
Authorised by Lyle Shelton, Family First Party, Norwood.
Get saving this month at City Discount Tyres. Grab 3 Falcon Zeek ZE 310R passenger car tyres and get the 4th tyre absolutely free. Experience top-notch performance with exceptional grip on both wet and dry surfaces. Steer your way to citydiscounttyres.com.au for even more great deals. City Discount Tyres. We're driven by value.
There's something about a good local. Walking in and knowing you're in the right place. That's the Piermount Group of Hotels. 8 neighbourhood favourites. The Albion, the Australasian, the Bel Air, the Flagstaff, Mansfield Park, the Sterling, the Marriotteville and the Seaton. each with great hospitality, good food and that familiar feeling. Download Piermount's First Draft loyalty app for perks, rewards, surprises, and your first drink is on them with a $10 sign-up bonus. Explore everything on offer at piermount.com.au.
At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, they've been raising the bar on servicing. It starts with next day servicing, free loan car, free vacuum and wash, and you can enjoy a free breakfast or lunch thanks to Villiers. Your car will be in expert hands with a state-of-the-art service centre and factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we look after you and your car. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city.
Renovating your home? Ever had a basin you could eat your dinner out of? To ensure your renovations comply with the industry standards, place your trust in a master plumber to make your vision become a reality. Choose one of our trusted, qualified and local members so your dream home doesn't become one of those renovation nightmares. Trust a Master Plumbers member to complete your stunning renovation. Go to findamasterplumber.com.au.
RDNS is now called Silverchain, but that's all that's changing. There's still the same friendly faces, same in-home health and aged care you trust, and same not-for-profit values. Because some things will never change at Silverchain.
Alpha means the beginning of something, like the night you host the celebration party of your son or daughter's engagement. Everything's perfect. The family's together, the speeches start, and suddenly you realise this is one of those nights you'll remember forever. Alpha Industries creates beautifully built pergolas, verandas and carports designed to celebrate life's most magnificent moments. Alpha Industries. Let's start something new. alphaindustries.com.au.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
25 after 5. Campo here for Timmy. He's back on Friday. We have got footy back tomorrow night at the SCG. We're excited about, and footy's back at Tyre Power as well. You can buy 3 Pirelli Cinturato tyres and get the 4th one free, that is, only at Tyre Power. If you'd like a double pass to the Adelaide 36ers playoff game 1, it is next Tuesday night at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre with the NBL Finals starting tonight. It's exciting. We'll find out who their opponent is. 8223 0055. Call in. They can be yours.
Yeah, do that. Get unique pies, sausage rolls and donuts from your local independent supermarket is the text line. And this is, I read this and you go, oh, really? March the 4th, not a good day for legends. We lost 2 other legends on that day, March the 4th. Shane Warne, Rod Marsh, now rest in peace, Dennis Cometti.
Oh,
goodness me. To those families, God, yeah. Warnie, still disbelief of that one.
Yeah.
We've lost Dennis. If you've got a tribute, we'd love to hear it. Let's go to Tyrone at Woodville.
Good afternoon, boys.
We're yours, mate.
Very sad to hear the passing of the great man. And just listening to that, now, you boys probably be aware of this. I remember watching the Crows games when he would be a commentator or one of the commentators, and he had a very, very soft spot for Nathan Bassett. And he would turn around and say, well, he's not going to win a Brownlow medal or anything, but he said, I tell you what, I'd have him in the trenches or he'd be in my team any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because I heard him speak after Bass retired, and he said, he rang me, he said, you want my football boots? And he said, I've got them at home in pride of place. He said, I couldn't believe. He said it just made him so happy.
How good's that? And look, different players appeal to different people. He might have wrote a letter to Bass, and Bass wrote back, and they might have ended up pen friends. Who knows? If we knew that, we would have asked Bass. But he was just such a giving bloke. I was lucky enough, obviously, to be in the media, and I've called footy for now, almost 30 years. And when we used to travel, we'd always be at the MCG or Marvel Stadium and that, and you'd at quarter time and half time and after the game, before the game, you just mingle and you go out and you have a drink, and he would always give of his time. He never ignored anyone. He wasn't ever on a pedestal. He just was just a true person. So what you saw in front of the mic and behind the mic was the same bloke, and they're just rare talents.
Well, it doesn't need to be like that the other way, does it?
No, but there are other people I could name that aren't like that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But wouldn't you want to be respected like he is?
Of course you would.
Yeah.
But they're rare. Him and Bruce, what a team.
28 after 5. You can share your tributes after the break. 8223 0000 is our number.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show. In the lead up to the 2026 South Australian state election, 5AA will keep you informed.
It's just another example of our state leading the world.
Join David and Will for 5AA Breakfast from 6 a.m. for the latest announcements and opinion.
Pick a poll, any poll.
Then stay across the developing stories across the day with Graham Goodings from 9.
Housing is still a major issue.
And Stacey Lee from 1 p.m.
How can anyone believe your election commitments?
You won't miss a thing.
We're just focused on affordability.
The 2026 state election on 5AA.
Always informative. Always Adelaide.
At Mobile Auto Care, we're serious about keeping your car in tip-top shape without you having to leave home or work. We fix that drop-off, wait, car's ready, pick-up problem. And for those bigger jobs, our new state-of-the-art workshop in Richmond is now open. It's bigger, better and busier. So we're looking for qualified mechanics to join our team. Interested? Call 8354 0055. Mobile Auto Care. Serious about bringing service to you.
If you buy your kid's mouthguard from the chemist, you're not really protecting their teeth. Only a pearl mouthguard from your dentist can offer the proper protection. You can also have them made in the colours of their team. Your pearl mouthguard can also be fully claimed on your private health cover, which your dentist can help you with. Play it safe. Ask your dentist about a pearl mouthguard. Search Pearl Dental SA for more.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Good evening, Mel Usher with the 5:30 headlines. Legendary commentator Dennis Cometti is being remembered as a brilliant caller following his passing at the age of 76. The first flight to Australia from the Middle East in the wake of the conflict is due to touch down in Sydney tonight. New data reveals the economy is growing faster than expected, putting further pressure on inflation. And in sport, new AFL Commission Chairman Craig Drummond has outlined his focus for the role: football, fans and the future. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Afternoon, got a nasty crash at Seaton at the moment. Tapley's Hill Road near Morley Road. Really big delays through there. Paradise, another nasty collision. Darley Road near Walker Avenue. That too is causing big delays. And she's very slow at the moment at Melrose Park. They're fixing up a road plate there. South Road near Raglan Avenue. Camera, Elizabeth Road, Morford Vale. Chefs, restaurant owners, heard about Rainbow Fresh? Greens grown from direct seed and bursting with flavour from the Adelaide Plains. Visit rainbowfresh.com.au for a free sample. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, down to 13 tonight, sunny tomorrow 27. Right now it's 24 degrees. We'll have more news at 6 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
That feeling of a crowd rising up as one as the footy soars in the air. That feeling of a hushed stadium erupting into a roar. If you feel it, you're in on it. Get your 2026 Toyota AFL Premiership season tickets today.
There's your mark of the year. This is...
Get in on it at tickets.afl.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Here's who you can support around Adelaide. The Excelsior Hotel. Live music in the front bar Friday night to Sunday night. The Excelsior, Coglan Street, Brompton. Feels like coming home, but better. Dancing Queen. The ABBA tribute show takes the magic of ABBA to the next level. March 10 to 15. Book at fringetix.com.au. 5AA, supporting local business.
Pulling a fresh-baked pizza from the oven is sensational, but revealing a fresh-baked pizza from your own wood-fired oven is theatre. Rustic Wood Ovens handcraft custom wood-fired ovens for your space with stainless or granite benchtops, integrated barbecue options, electrical fittings and expert trades behind every detail. Get serious about entertaining with a Rustic Wood Oven. Visit rusticwoodovens.com today.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
Now it's one-on-one inside the forward 50. Angus, after his man slipped over, takes Talia on again. Ben Burlow closing. Monfrez has kicked a goal. Unbelievable. Haven't seen anything like that. It's gone at right angles.
Yeah, many footy fans will remember that
call.
here in South Australia. The Monfrez bounce and that showdown at West Lakes. Dennis Cometti, we are remembering him. What are your great memories? What do you remember? 8223 0000 is our number.
Yeah, 534. Would love your interaction. Plenty of texts coming through. We'll try to get through them. Our Premier, Mr. Peter Malinauskas, coming up, so do not miss that. All the coaches have sat down with a Fox Footy journalist or broadcaster or expert and had their little 15 minutes where they get bombarded with questions and they answer how they're going. Crow's coach was Matty Nix. He had his 15-minute spot on Fox Footy with Jason Dunstall. He spoke about his midfield.
Well, there's organic improvement. I think, we are still a young list. Guys like Rochelle, we haven't really seen go through that area, and, the last couple of years has had a couple of small setbacks. But I think he's ready to step up. Dan Curtin was one that was coming through, and I think everyone was excited about. Unfortunately, we won't have him there for the first half of the year, but it may be a blessing in disguise for Dan to make sure, he's 20 years old. I think he's got an incredible career ahead of him. So mid-season, we'll get him back fresh and ready to go. But we feel like there's a fair bit of organic growth. We brought in some experience, Neil Bullen, Cal Archie this year, bringing those two guys in who can both, move through that midfield, not necessarily in and around stoppage, big bodies, but will definitely add experience and value in around that space. So understand some of the critics when it comes to our midfield. We're a little bit young in there, but we're confident we're going to grow in that space.
Organic growth, you believe in it? Is it a thing?
Yeah, it is a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's not organic growth. It's development. And it's time and it's understanding what you need, the craft to be able to play through there, the dynamics of it.
Experience, strength,
so the physical
body
capabilities
size, types,
through there. So, there is. There's no question about that. But, geez, Dan Curtin's a big miss in that.
Oh, I think he is.
That's a big one for mine. Geez, just by the sounds of what he was doing, we heard, him and Dawson.
What they were planning around and Dawson drifting forward and all of that. So it means Saligo's going to have to pick up the chain again and the Peatling types.
Yeah.
Sam Berry types.
Yeah, but once again, though, it's depth of through there, isn't it? It's like that next wave. Can they get better? Can they work together better? Some of those weaknesses that happen through there. But, I mean, their weakness was they didn't handle the occasion well, collectively. I know we're focusing a bit on the midfield, but they didn't handle the occasion well, the pressure of what the opposition were able to do. So you could easily say that, the back six didn't handle it well either. But ultimately, as we've always said, best midfield wins, and they were unable to get it done in a fair few of the categories. That's why people are saying what they're saying. But I think there's still some growth in there.
Yeah, well handling it well means you're a talented player. So you don't ever say that about a Dacos at Collingwood. You know what I mean? If you're a star, you're a star. And the bigger the pressure, the greater you are. You make good decisions under pressure. And that's why you are a star. And they need more stars in there. He went on to speak about the ruck rule. This is Nixie.
The rule change around not able to cross the line and that they're really looking for jumpers, that's a big one. I think that's going to change list management substantially. And, we'll see a real big shift in that space.
Change list management.
It's an interesting
substantially.
call.
Well, you've signed Riley O'Brien for 3 years.
Do you think surely they would have had a heads up that perhaps that was going to change or not?
Well, they said they didn't have a line of sight of it, but I think every other club did.
Maybe. Yeah, it will change. Now,
bloody oath it will.
But let's see if we heard what Swanee said around if there's a few PCLs, maybe they get rid of it and they go back to it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's not. But.
So what Riley O'Brien needs to do is just knock a few PCLs in, the rule goes back and he becomes an All-Australian again.
Put the shin guard in and away.
Shin guard in and away you go. He spoke about Riley Thilthorpe and the great Texan.
The same thing happens at this time of the year. You know, people come in and write him off, and then he proves a lot of people wrong. I hope he, again, steps up and does some stuff that everyone smiles and laughs about and says, how do you do it at this age? Riley is starting to impose himself a little more, as everyone does. I think he's a respectful lad. He's well balanced, but now he's starting to own the gym. He's starting to, get a lot more voice out on the training track, and that's part of that is he's learnt from Tex on what it's about to be a leader.
Yeah, I don't think people are writing Tex off. I think Tex has a role, and his best is as good as anyone's. And last year I said he was still the most important player. But you roll on another year after seeing what you saw in the finals and the growth, let's do it again, organic growth, or who they've got in, and Archie is it. The minute they signed Archie, I thought they got to have their eye on doing something different in that front six. Now, you like the four, let's call them hybrids. They're not all smalls, hybrids. You like the fact that Rochelle and Rankin are going to go back through there. You got Archie, who's good in the air. Alex Neil-Bullen you've recruited in. I do like the look of the two tools and being Fogarty and Thilthorpe, and they're 1 and 2, make no mistake. Thilthorpe's 1 and Fogg's 2. They've got to command that forward line. With Dawson drifting down there, what is Tex's role? Now off the bench, because you now got 23, that's fine. Mate, he's a superstar. He's as good a player as we've had, but I don't have him in my first front six.
Yeah, well, perhaps not start, but he's in the 7 because you can't go. Well, now you probably got with 23, you've really got 7 to 8 that might be able to roll through there. So he's definitely in the 7 or 8 that goes 100%. Through there. So it's how they use him. And obviously, and how his body will be over the course of the year as to how much they use him.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. And just one last one. We're going to go to our Premier, Mr. Peter Malinauskas, after the break. Josh Carr also had his chat. I like this grab he had on Ken Hinkley, thanks to Fox Footy.
Yeah, look, it was a big year in hindsight. At the start of the year, we spoke about all the things that could have happened if the season didn't go away. We knew there'd be a lot of noise around it. In the end, I think the strength of the group and Kenny and the way we worked together, we got there to the finish line. There's no doubt had its challenges, but we got there, and now I'm here, I'm in charge, and the rest is history in a way.
That was Josh Carr on Fox Footy. You got a text. Can you just sneak in 30 seconds of Port for Juniper in Hong Kong? Yep, well, there it is.
That's it. All right, we do have to get to a break because our Premier is waiting. It's 20 minutes to 6, 822 30000. Call into the program if you'd like to be involved. Here's traffic.
G'day there at Seacon. Got a nasty crash causing a really big delay. It's Tapley's Hill Road near Morley Road. Paradise a crash 2, Darley Road near Walker Avenue. Very slow through there. And super sluggish at Melrose Park. They're fixing a road plate. Taken all day, this one too. South Road near Raglan Avenue. Cameras to Kettleville Terrace, Kent Town and Main South Road, Hackham. The big one is back until March 31. Get an unbeatable finance offer across the MY25 X-Trail range. T's and C's apply. Hurry to your Nissan dealer today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowey and Timmy G. The 5AA Sport Show.
Hey, I know you've been using Arbor Vitae since 2018. Tell us about it.
It has completely changed my life. It's like liquid gold to me. My joint pain has completely disappeared. My mobility is so much better, and the reduction in inflammation is amazing.
For more information, visit arborvitae.com.au. That's arborvitae.com.au. And remember, always read the label and follow the directions for use.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to get free installation? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2, the largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers and get free installation on your cabinets with laminate benchtops. For a limited time, of course. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
Babe, just so you know, I've invited a couple of mates over to watch the game.
Wait, how many is a couple?
Just 16.
What? Stock up for the footy season at Sip and Save. More rewards members can grab a Bundaberg UP Rum and Cola 10-pack for just $45.99 or $48.99 for non-members. And you could win your share of up to $150K. Plus, Cooper's Pale Ale 24 packs at just $59.99. More rewards. Join now for free at sipandsave.com.au. Prices may vary in country areas. See website for T's and C's.
Sip and Save.
There's more in store. You can rent a little, you can rent a lot.
Business
business too small to be noticed by those global car rental companies? Well, you can rely on Red Spot to look after you. We love renting to small businesses because we used to be one. We're the only Aussie family-owned car rental company in airport terminals and cities across Australia. And right now, Red Spot is giving you spot-on savings of 15% off every vehicle at every location. Book direct and save at redspot.com.au/radio. T's and C's apply.
Red Spot. Since 1935, Resthaven has supported older South Australians. For more than 35 years, that support has also extended into people's homes, where comfort, dignity and independence matter most. Our caring staff and volunteers have enriched the lives of thousands of older South Australians and their carers. Thank you for putting your trust in Resthaven. If you or someone you love needs welcome support at home, we're here to help. Visit resthaven.asn.au, celebrating 90 years.
Hi, it's Eddie May here from NRG Solar. When it comes to power bills, NRG Solar understands that South Australian businesses are feeling the pinch too. The Cheaper Home Battery program isn't just for homeowners. Eligible businesses can access those savings as well. NRG Solar takes a consultative approach with commercial customers, starting with how your business uses power, then designing a solar and battery solution that makes financial sense. Talk to NRG Solar and see what a solar and battery solution can do for your business. Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
16-6, we have a double pass for you to get along to Adelaide United this Friday night. They're at home against the bottom place Wellington Phoenix, so we should get a win. 7:05 kick-off, tickets from Ticketek, 8223 0055. If you'd like to go, your chance now.
Well, we haven't spoken to our Premier since the MotoGP announcement. We've got it in 2027. It's going to be before the Supercars Grand Final in November. Joining us now, our Premier, Mr. Peter Malinauskas. Premier, thanks for your time, and once again, great get. Well done.
Oh, it was a bit of a coup, Rowey. We were working behind the scenes on this, for a while, since late last year. Kudos to Sam Shaheen, who helped facilitate the contact, and now we're going to host the first ever MotoGP event anywhere in the world on a street circuit, bringing back the old F1 circuit. So it's almost a dream come true in many respects. And the best part about it, from my perspective, is MotoGP is on a growth trajectory. Liberty Media, the company that bought F1 and then did Drive to Survive, have only recently acquired MotoGP. So they're all about growth, and they've come to us and they want to partner, with South Australia to really start to accelerate this extraordinary event.
Yeah, it will be, and we'll nail it this state. There's no question, and your major events will do so as well. Have you any more detail or dates since the announcement that you can share with our listeners?
I can a little bit. At this point in time, we expect it to be 2 weeks after the BP Grand Final in November next year, which is not far away, Rowey. And there's a bit of work that needs to be done to realign the track. We've got a program and a schedule that we're working to that allows us to do that. It's ambitious, I won't lie. But that was also true when we were trying to bring back the Adelaide 500 when we only had 6 months to do it. So the same team is doing this work, so we're slated for, 2 weeks, not 2 weeks after, 2 weeks before. Sorry, my apologies.
I was going to say. Yep, okay.
Sorry, mid-November, my apologies, mid-November next year, there'll be a 2 week gap. Okay. The road closures will open up again in between the MotoGP and then the BP Grand Final to minimise the impact to sort of eastern suburbs motorists, but that's the schedule.
Okay. We've been told by some experts, and you've probably been speaking to the same ones, the track needs to be one continuous freshly laid strip of bitumen and no concrete barriers. Is that the case?
Yes, there will be barriers, but there'll be barriers only in select spots.
Okay.
And they'll be subject to all the technical requirements to meet the regulator's standards. So there is a regulator, and they have to approve it for safety. They've already seen all the plans and been engaged in this process behind the scenes, which is good. But the point about the bitumen is absolutely true, and that's been factored into the investment associated with the event. We had to do the same, mind you. When we brought back the LA 500, we had to completely relay the track inside Victoria Park. We're reworking the track inside Victoria Park. It's now going to come in and around in front of the Heritage Grandstand, so that you'll recall the Adelaide 500, that doesn't get used. Now it will be. So when that'll get relayed, and then that'll also be true for the rest of the track on the street circuit as well.
Yeah. They call it kitty litter. They call it runoff for the MotoGP. You need a lot of that. The expert that we also spoke to said that, he's walked the track and he said there's a lot of trees, a lot of salmon gums there that might need to be taken down, Premier.
Yep, that's true. So there are trees that have to be removed. I'm just trying to bring that number back to the front of my mind. I think, because I did release this publicly, the number of trees, let me just text you that in, Rowey.
That's okay.
I think from memory it's 35. So
okay.
We've put that number out publicly, and it is true, and that's to accommodate runoff.
Pete, what's the long-term vision for SA when it comes to hosting national and international events moving forward?
Well, we've got a pretty good calendar. I mean, you guys have asked me this a few times over the last couple of years. Do we have room for any more? I've always said yes. I'm also not going to. I don't want to overcook it either. I think the key is to get a sweet spot where we've got a good calendar, a good program, where we've got a suite of events that you've got to come to Adelaide to see, and you can't go anywhere else to see them. So we've got exclusivity on MotoGP, Live Golf, Gather Round, to name a few. Two Down Under is exclusively in South Australia, and we've locked in the BP Grand Final for the supercars. We've locked in the Christmas Test as well. So the idea is to have a suite of events which you only can go to South Australia to see, and that stand on their own 2 feet. But at the same time, I don't want to have it so crammed up that we start to undermine any of the events. So we've done a lot of modelling around this when we were preparing our effort to get MotoGP, and we think there's a sweet spot there. And just to sort of step you through the economics, the biggest cost associated with the supercars is the infrastructure packing up and coming down. There's a lot of labour to put all that infrastructure in place. Well, now we get 2 events and we only have to pay for that infrastructure once.
Yep.
So the economics actually really improve, which is why we were attracted to this. So as is always with these things, they've got to wash their own face. They've got to return a dividend economically to the state, and it's about not overdoing it, but at the same time being world-class to drive that attention, the eyeballs, the investment. And I don't mind saying, here's a number for you. This morning at 11 o'clock, the ABS, the Bureau of Statistics, released the economic growth numbers for Australia and ranked every state around the country. Every other state around the country had a economic growth rate in the 2%. The national average is over 2%. In South Australia, we're at 5%.
Wow.
So we're growing, our economy is growing a lot faster than the rest of the country, and this policy isn't the one thing that's made that happen, but that private sector investment, which is, again, we're running at about 10 times the national average of new private sector investment, according to those numbers this morning. Part of that is because the rest of the country is looking at South Australia differently. And there's no doubt the event strategy has played a big role in getting the eyes of the nation on us.
And Pete, how do you balance the investment in these major events versus investing in grassroots sport around South Australia?
Well, that's interesting. So do you know what one of the fastest growing sports in South Australia is at the moment amongst kids, women and men? Golf.
Yeah. That's surprising,
Golf is going through the roof. If you look at the numbers, golf and gymnastics are going through the roof. Now, I don't think the golf thing is unrelated to LIV. So one can inform the other. But as part of the deal with the AFL on Gather Round, they wanted more money out of us, and you'd expect that when we were negotiating a couple of years ago. And rather than giving them more money, we agreed to a co-investment in grassroots infrastructure. So it's actually, which is an AFL win out of anyway, but it's actually investment in sporting facilities. And you've got to do both. But kids are more likely to get out and get active as they have got half a chance of seeing their heroes play. So you've got to do both. And as you gents know, a bit of a obsession of mine is getting kids off screens, and sports is as good a vehicle to do that as any.
Yeah. Bahrain's April 13, Saudi Arabia's April 20. I know that's not far away, but we've got a world-class event called The Bend. If the Middle East can't host that Formula One, is our hand up?
Oh, look, this is a dream that we've all had, isn't it? To host
I'd love
an
to get
F1
it
event.
back. Yep.
The thing is, the Australian Grand Prix Corporation which is basically a subsidiary of the Victorian government, no different to our motorsport board here in South Australia. They've got an exclusivity agreement locked up with F1 until 2035.
Okay.
They can host Grand Prix events. And I know that because we met with them to test it. Even the idea of having a second Formula One Grand Prix in Australia, I think the growth of F1 would lend itself to that. But they've got an exclusivity agreement, and, I understand that. We do too with our major events. So that's the challenge we've got there, Jen.
And that's unprecedented times. I don't want to go anywhere further there because we hope that settles down in the Middle East here. We're hearing Victoria, WA next year, State of Origin in Perth again.
Yeah, well, I've seen the rumours. There's nothing confirmed. Okay. I've made our position clear that we want it. We think there's a synergy to be had in South Australia, for State of Origin in the future. You can't only have State of Origin in Perth. And if you actually look at the State of Origin game in Perth, almost everyone there was Western Australian. You look at the Guernseys in the crowd, and you'd expect that to be a majority. But now in Adelaide, we host an event like that. At least you'll get 50-50 in the crowd, or close to 50-50. And that makes for a better spectacle on telly anyway. So our view is that we shouldn't miss out just because we won't gather around. And I'll do my best to try and secure rights if we can.
Okay. Last two before we go in. Thank you for your time. And these are listener questions on our text line. Can you please ask the Premier who's underwriting the insurance for the street circuit at MotoGP?
So there is an insurance policy. It depends what is being insured, but largely the risk of liability associated with riders and all that sort of stuff. My advice is that's MotoGP. Where's that? I
would have thought so. And a permanent grandstand?
No, we can use the plan is to use the temporary infrastructure.
Okay.
We're going to move it. So to be clear, so I said we're bringing the track around next to in front of the heritage stand.
Yes.
Where the hard stand will be to pack up and down the temporary building will be next to the heritage grandstand.
Okay.
So, and that, part of the issue there is speed. We can actually get that up in time for the 2027 event.
Oh, beautiful. And will the grid be the same for MotoGP and the supercars then? That would say it would be then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, inside in Victoria Park, yes. But we're in active discussions. In fact, I've got the team with the motorsport board with supercars this weekend in Melbourne. They're got to make a decision about whether or not they want to use the MotoGP track, or whether or not they want to go back to, which we're giving them. There are options to keep basically the existing street circuit component for supercars, and we're willing to work with on that. Like there's the famous Turn 8, there's the staircase, and that's something that supercars will judge, looking at passing opportunities and the entertainment factor for the grand final. So that work is underway.
Okay. Who's the snooze we got this year for the supercars? What's his name? That band? You've already
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Who's?
Sorry, Premier. Who's your shortlist for the MotoGP? Because we've got to have a concert then as well.
Oh, we've got a bit of time to work that out.
Okay.
If we do a concert at all, so we'll wait.
All right. Oh.
We're locked in. Guns
N' Roses.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm a Midnight Oil fan, but unfortunately that's not going to happen.
Okay. Where are the Chili Peppers? When are they playing?
So did I say Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, come on, Premier.
Sorry. Oops, that was a faux pas.
Anybody think there's a state election coming on? Premier, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Des. Cheers.
Oh, what a ripper. Now, Campo.
Yes.
Now, I just it's not Pete. It's Premier or Mr. Malinauskas.
Oh, sorry.
I'd never call him Pete or Peter or...
Fair enough. It's good feedback. Sorry, Premier. If he took offence to me calling him Pete.
No, he loves it. Juniper does as well. And I say Juniper.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Respect. Fair enough.
You probably calls him mate.
He does.
He calls him mate.
I say Timmy, he's our Premier.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Okay.
All right, time to get to the 6 o'clock news. We'll talk some more motorsport on the other side of this. We'll talk Formula One with Andrew Van Leeuwen.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G. Sharing in the moments that shaped our state.
Just about the other side.
Adelaide for 50 years. This is 5AA.
Have you been injured in a car accident? You might be entitled to compensation, and Anderson Solicitors can help you find out. Compensation can cover things like medical costs, pain and suffering, lost income, even help around the home and garden. Don't rush to accept the insurer's settlement without first getting the right advice, or you could be missing out. And with Anderson's, your first interview is free, so you've got nothing to lose. Anderson Solicitors. Help when you need it.
If you're looking for custom-made lounge, dining, bedroom and cabinetry all made right here in SA, Nordic Design Furniture is the place. The designs and options are endless and fully customisable. Experience the quality and finish at Adelaide's only manufacturer's showroom. See how real furniture looks and feels. It's made right here by their artisans just for you. No longer Adelaide's best-kept secret. Open 7 days at 43 McGill Road, Stepney. Nordic Design Furniture. Yes, it's a Nordic.
Here is an important message from your engine.
It's time I put my foot down. If you want me to perform at my best, remember to add Flash Lube to our tank every time you fill up. We'll get greater fuel economy and a cleaner fuel system. Best of all, it'll keep me feeling young, so I can really take you places.
Flash Lube, available from your auto store and leading petrol stations. Remember to add Flash Lube fuel additives when you next fill up, and your engine will love you for it.
Most financial advice comes with strings attached. AFM Wealth Strategy doesn't. They're independent, part of just 1% of advisors in Australia. No commissions, no bank ties, no incentives pushing products. Their fees aren't based on how much money you have. It means you'll get financial advice that's clear, fair, and always in your best interest. AFM Wealth Strategy, an authorised representative of Independent Financial Advisors Australia, AFSL 464629.
Adelaide's news leader for 50 years. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Down to 13 tonight, sunny tomorrow and 27. With the 6 o'clock news, good evening, I'm Mel Usher. Petrol prices are creeping up across Adelaide in the wake of the Middle East conflict. Unleaded is now averaging $1.90 a litre. Predictions it could hit $3 a litre has seen long queues at some servos today. The first plane load of Australians to leave the Middle East will land in Sydney later tonight. 200 citizens are on board the Emirates flight, which left Dubai this morning. More than 100,000 Australians are stranded in the region following retaliatory attacks from Iran toward neighbouring countries. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese telling Parliament work is underway to help get people out.
The safety of Australians in the region is our government's first priority, and we'll continue to do all that we can to provide Australians with information and support. I was able to discuss with His Highness the importance of the resumption of these commercial flights.
Legendary commentator Dennis Cometti is being remembered as a brilliant caller following his passing at the age of 76. Cometti worked in broadcasting for 51 years, most famously calling footy games. Eddie Maguire full of praise for the man and his work behind the mic.
He was a brilliant caller. He was a wonderful man to work with. He was generous. He had a generosity of spirit. He was so well prepared. He lifted a game. He made great moments even better. We'll remember Dennis for not only his one-liners and his committeeisms, but also the way he was able to just take sport to a higher level.
The state government has applied to the Supreme Court to keep convicted pedophile Peter Liddy behind bars. The disgraced former magistrate's 18-year term for sexually abusing children expires in June. The Attorney-General has applied for an indefinite detention order to keep Liddy behind bars, along with an extended supervision order to keep a close eye on him if he's released. There are calls for millions of Australian workers to get an extra week of paid holidays every year. Nelson Scott has the story.
The nation's peak union body is pressing the Albanese government to increase minimum annual leave from 4 to 5 weeks. The proposal would see full-time employees entitled to 25 days off a year, while shift workers would receive 30 days. ACTU Secretary Sally McManus says Australians get less free time than those in other countries.
In most of Europe, 5 weeks is now normal.
The idea comes amidst a lingering slump in productivity and calls to reform the economy to boost output. The opposition's Jane Hume says high inflation is making the situation worse.
Small businesses are at the pincer end of
of Labor's cost of living crisis.
The length of annual leave was last adjusted in 1974.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Whether your block is the size of Adelaide Oval or the Gold Square, build with Sterling Homes.
Crow Wayne Miller is ready for round one. Adelaide kick off their 2026 campaign against Collingwood at the MCG on Saturday, March 14. He's feeling good off the back of a successful pre-season.
Feeling pretty confident in the body and I'm pretty confident where sort of the game's at the moment, which is nice this time of year. Go into the season confident in yourself and confident in the team and how we're going.
New AFL Chairman Craig Drummond has refused to reveal his preference on the grand final time slot. Drummond says he needs to have a sensible conversation with the Commission before taking a position.
I just need to see all the data. It's day one for me, so I'd expect the executive will bring forward all the relevant data in terms of the fans' perspective, in terms of the football. Does it affect the football, the quality of the football? How do the fans think about it? How do some of our other stakeholders, and particularly our broadcasters, think about it?
And cricket fans are remembering Shane Warne today. He died on this day 4 years ago at the age of 52. Now checking 5AA traffic.
G'day, there is Seaton. A crash getting cleared up at the moment. Tapley's Hill Road near Morley Road, Paradise another collision, Darley Road near Walker Avenue. And Melrose Park slow as they fix that road plate South Road near Raylan Avenue. Taking a fair while, this one. Camera, Elizabeth Road, Morford Vale too. Saints help people navigate complex mental health for 40 years. If you or someone you care for needs free information, recovery support or community connection, visit sane.org today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Down to 13 tonight, sunny for your Thursday, 27. Friday, sunny and 27. Saturday and Sunday, more of the same. Right now, it's 24 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News tonight.
Brenton Radless.
We begin tonight with breaking news.
With the news that matters to you.
The government insists it's a win for the state's economy.
9 News is covering the stories that matter to South Australians.
Brazen daylight firebombing attack at the Torrensville supermarket.
Adelaide is your city. 9 is your news.
Your backyard doesn't need another barbecue. It needs a centrepiece. Rustic Wood Ovens, handcraft custom wood-fired ovens built to suit your space with stainless or granite benchtops, integrated barbecue options, electrical fittings and expert trades behind every detail. If you're serious about entertaining, you need to be serious about the space. Speak to Rustic Wood Ovens and craft your culinary dreams with wood-fired elegance. Visit rusticwoodovens.com today.
Listen to that. Wow. No traffic, no rush, just space. Down here, there's room to breathe. And the moments you didn't expect become the ones you remember. The Northern Territory. Road trip differently.
What do elbows, knees, fists, head clashes and boots have in common? Well, they can all knock your teeth out. But not if you have a Pearl mouthguard. It can even be made in the colours of your team. Plus, your Pearl mouthguard can also be fully claimed on your private health cover, which your dentist can help with. Play it safe. Ask your dentist about a Pearl mouthguard. Search Pearl Dental SA for more.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
An incredible impact and one that will last forever. He leaves a legacy. He was an absolutely world-class commentator who did it in a very authentic, unique way. He set the standard for so many people to follow. He made us all laugh. He made us all have fun when we were watching sport and in particular football. So a once-in-a-lifetime person to be involved with, a once-in-a-lifetime broadcaster. So He's going to be greatly missed, and he does leave an incredible legacy.
8 after 6. The terribly sad news today, Dennis Cometti has passed away at age 76 on the eve of opening round of the 2026 AFL season. The teams are out. Carlton and Sydney will play tomorrow night. You'll hear it live on 5AA. Just quickly, the teams. So Charlie Curnow will line up for the Swans for the very first time. Malcolm Roses and Jai Sarong have also been named for Sydney. And for Carlton, they've got 7 new names in there from last year. Harry Dean, of course, will play along with Jagger Smith, which are exciting additions for them. And Ollie Florent and Will Hayward will play against their old Swans, along with Ben Ainsworth, Liam Reedy and Campbell Chesser in amongst the teams.
Still the Curnow Cup, even though Florent, isn't it, really? I think that's where all the interest will be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, him and Wiedering, that'll be the one.
Live on 7 tomorrow, City take on Carlton. Footy is back. It's going to be all footy tomorrow. Can't wait. But before all of that, now the Melbourne Grand Prix
is on.
Pretty much starts tomorrow
Friday.
too, doesn't it? Well, so they don't do any whizzing around tomorrow?
Thursday a little bit, yeah. But it's more
but anyway,
Friday.
it starts Friday. We've got a great little book out. Andrew Van Leeuwen is the author of Oscar Piastri, The Rapid Rise of an F1 Star. Penguin Random House Australia publication. It is in all good bookstores. Andrew, welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good man. Now, the making of a champion, he'd have been a champion if McLaren didn't burn him last year.
That's a pretty popular held theory. There was actually a function in Melbourne last night where David Croft, the Sky Sports commentator, was there, and he made reference to the fact that maybe the reception had been a little frosty coming to Australia with all the chat about the British bias from both the commentary team and from McLaren itself. I don't know if there's too much to it, to be perfectly honest. My sort of take on the whole thing, having been obviously a fairly close observer, is that the team went to some ridiculous levels to desperately try and find this utopia of fairness that was never going to exist, and Oscar just sort of happened to be on the receiving end of it, or the poor receiving end of it, just too many times. So it certainly affected his season. Whether it was bias or not, we'll never really know. But I think it was more the team just has this desire to be as fair as possible that's completely unrealistic, because sometimes sport, like life, just isn't quite fair.
Yeah, you're right. There's politics and who's going to make the most money. And I thought they would have thought Lando Norris is probably going to do that if he wins, and that's what they did. Hey, it's rookie to title contender in 3 years. It's a fair rise. Let's talk about Oscar. You cover it brilliantly in the book. Your first one was rookie. He's a star, isn't he, this lad?
Oh, he definitely is. And it is quite amazing to think of, like that, the way last season ended for him would have been incredibly disappointing, because absolutely no elite sports person, will go that close to becoming world champion and not getting there and not be disappointed by that. But, if you really apply some context to it, it was his third season in Formula One.
No.
And he's already there fighting for world championships. And, he's going to become an even better driver than he is now. So there's an amazing future ahead. And the fact that he has got to that stage so quickly is actually quite remarkable. And, if you look back at his career, I mean, he had teams fighting over him before he'd driven a competitive lap in a Formula One car. So that's how good everyone knew he was going to be. But I think even McLaren, at its most optimistic, wouldn't have thought that he would be fighting Lando Norris so quickly. And maybe that's where some of the awkwardness in terms of the team's handling of that came from. It might have just been a bit of naivety as well, because they probably didn't think it was going to be that big an issue, because Lando in his 6th or 7th season of Formula One should have had that edge. When you talk about the progress that Oscar's made in 3 years, it is absolutely staggering.
He seems incredibly calm, Andrew. Is that natural, or is that something that he's developed over the couple of years that he's been involved?
I think it's fairly natural. I think, he does work with sports psychologist Emma Murray, who you would probably know, worked with the Richmond Tigers very famously, and supercars driver Scott McLaughlin and people like that. She works with him a lot. So I guess what they would do, I'm not a sports psychologist myself, but they would try and find how to get the best out of the personality. And that would be very different depending on the person. So Oscar doesn't say too much in the media. He doesn't get overly heated and emotional when he's in the car. He doesn't get heated and emotional, at least in any sort of public setting outside of the car. And you compare him to someone like Lando Norris, who is much more open, much more hard on his sleeve. He'll stand there and he'll address the media and talk about the mistakes he made when he does do that. And it was kind of highlighted as maybe an area of weakness, early last year in the title fight compared to Oscar, who was sort of, a far less emotional. But that's clearly what works best for Lando, and he went on and won the World Championship. So I think it's obviously, there's some cultivation of that calmness, but it's because that's what works best for Oscar and how he gets the best out of himself.
Yeah, do you reckon he's quite confident? Does that give him an edge against some of the other drivers? I've watched that Drive to Survive that they've just released it, and the comparative of the two of them, and you just spoke about Lando, he's whinging and complaining and whatever, but Oscar was just straight down the line, just all business.
I think so. I certainly think, I guess you've always got to be a little bit careful when you talk about things like Drive to Survive, and even the team radio that Formula One plays during its broadcast, it does pick and choose what they put up and that sort of stuff, So you've always, you've got to be a little wary. And again, who knows what Oscar's like really behind closed doors, but there's obviously a fairly conscious effort made that, the best thing for him and the way he gets the best out of himself is to really keep a lid on everything, whether it's really good or really bad. And I think that is just how he is as a person,
What do you know about his technical brain and how he works with the engineers? I always find that fascinating with, behind closed doors about how they set the car up. They need to tweak this, they need to tweak that. How much do you know about Oscar's brain when it comes to that?
Oh, he's a pretty clever guy, and he does seem very on top of that sort of stuff, which will be super important this year because the rules are only getting more complex. And it is amazing now, like the complexities of those Formula One cars, even last year, and the way they have to manage different engine modes and all the hybrid systems, and it's about, energy recovery in some spots, and it's the amount of coaching. Like I listened to a lot of Oscar's team radio last year, often through the full race, and the driver coaching that they get from the engineer in terms of, all right, turn this button here, select this mode here, corner by corner, it's actually staggering. And you wouldn't believe how much there is unless you actually take the time to sit down and listen to it. So it's very important that they learn how to, firstly, multitask. Like, how do you drive a Grand Prix car at 300 kilometres an hour, actually be racing guys and have someone in your ear saying, right, can you please turn the engine mode to Strat 4? There's a lot going on. And if you look at the buttons on the steering wheel, so that's where the intelligence really, really comes from, is being able to actually process all of that stuff and still execute driving the race car as fast as it will go.
Oscar Piastri, the rapid rise of an F1 starts in Augusta Butchers. We've got Andrew Van Leeuwen here. He's the author. He's in Melbourne because the Grand Prix is on. I love the read, love the picks, all that sort of stuff. It's a race-by-race account. You do it brilliantly, Andrew. Well done. Do Lando and Oscar get on? Do they like each other, or are they just colleagues?
I think they do. I really do think they get on okay. There's always, at the end of the day, motorsport's a unique sport in that you can only be directly measured against the guy with the same car as you, right? Like that. Yes. So your teammate is always your biggest rival because he's the only driver in the field that you are directly measured against at any one time. So there's always got to, and when they're fighting for a world championship, yes, there's going to be tension and that sort of stuff, but there's never been any real indication that personally they have any great problem with each other. I think it's, but at the end of the day, they're elite sports people. They want to beat each other. There's always has to be management of that relationship.
Yeah. Do they have the same engineer, the same mechanic? The car, no. You could categorically... No. Okay, they don't. So the cars...
They are basically separate teams. And what actually happens, and it's happened quite a few times in Formula One history where teams have two number one. So teams basically have two options when it comes to the approach of their driver lineup, right? Yep. So if you think back to the Ferrari days, early 2000s with Michael Schumacher, his contract strictly stated that the other driver was the number two driver. Okay. He had a say over who that was, and that driver was there to help him win world championships. And if you look at what McLaren was doing at about the same era, they had David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen, two number one drivers, and that's what McLaren has now. So what does tend to happen sometimes is when you are deep into a title fight, it actually, the tension spills over. It's not just the drivers, it's the engineers, it's the mechanics. You actually end up frustrating the team to some extent, and you have two sides of the garage that are very divided, and it happens in all forms of motorsport where you have teammates. So there's been instances before where teams will actually come in and switch mechanics around at the end of the season because they don't want them to get too rusted on in this It's us against the other side of the garage. They have to learn to be a proper cohesive team. But there's lots of things. Like there'll be things that, there might be times where Oscar wants to do something with the car and they might not tell the other side of the garage what they're doing because they don't want them to know.
Okay.
That's how separated it can be. I don't know. McLaren may will have a policy. You would think with their whole papaya rules they have a policy where that's not allowed. But that is the level that the kind of division within a team can reach in these really tense title fights.
McLaren won their second consecutive construction championship. I can't see them going backwards with that. Red Bull will say hello. We've got the Grand Prix this week. Got to be great if Oscar can win it. Wouldn't it be bloody good?
It'd be amazing. It's obviously like there's brand new regulations. There's a lot of question marks. So it's probably not as nailed on that he's going to be, right there at the front as it was this time last year. But there's also no indication that they're in for any sort of shocker. So I think he's going to be in the mix for at least the podium. And even that, we haven't had an Australian driver on the podium at the Australian Grand Prix since the Formula One era started in Adelaide in 1985. So even a podium finish on Sunday would be
brilliant.
Would be an amazing thing for Oscar Piastri, and a win would obviously be all the better. But we're only really going to get, pre-season testing is full of sandbagging and politicking, and we're only really going to get a proper read on where everyone is on Saturday afternoon here in Melbourne when they go qualifying. And there's no time for any of that sandbagging or politicking. It's all about going as fast as you possibly can. So it's going to be really worth seeing what happens Saturday, Arvo, and then settling into hopefully what's a great Grand Prix on Sunday.
You're in the know there, Andrew. You're one of the great F1 reporters and journalists there, and I love your book. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia is going to be early April. I don't expect you to have a what do you call it? A
crystal ball.
Crystal ball. That's the word I'm looking for. Surely, if it heads the way it's heading, is there any whispers and talk that they'll be postponed?
I wouldn't be booking your tickets there. Let's put it that way for those two races just right now. I think sort of speaking. Obviously, a lot of my colleagues who are European based are here this weekend, and speaking to them, there's certainly not a whole lot of hope that those races will go ahead when they are scheduled to happen, which, it's pretty fanciful right now to think that in a couple of weeks, whatever it is, 3 or 4 weeks, when this race is meant to happen, that there will be a level of security guarantee to send a whole heap of people from around the world into that environment. So I personally would be very surprised if those races take place at this point in the year. And with the way the schedule is these days, like 24 weekends of the year, these guys go racing all over the world. It's very difficult to slot those races back in anywhere. So it could just be that they fall off the calendar. I guess that the one big lesson that I think a lot of major sporting codes, particularly international sporting codes, took out of the COVID era is how to be flexible and how to be agile and how to make the changes you need to get the season done. So I think it's probably not as kind of frightening a prospect of having to do some shuffling around or even having to just draw a line through some races and say, well, this is just not possible, because we've all had a fair bit of practice of it over the last few years.
Great track chat, Andrew. Great read. Have a great Australian Grand Prix over there in Melbourne, and all the best with the book.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, good man. Andrew Van Leeuwen there. Spoke very well. The rapid rise of an F1 star. His name is Oscar Piastri. It's a Penguin Random House publication in all good bookstores. It's a terrific read.
What do you reckon the sequel might be in 5 years' time? What do you reckon the title might be?
Two-time.
Two-time?
He's going to win a championship.
Oh,
There's no question about that. I'm just looking ahead. So we go from here to China to Japan, and then early April off to Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. They're just going to have to, like you said.
You can't forecast the things they're going to get there.
And look, we just hope and pray that everything goes well over there in the Middle East. It's just an awful state of affairs. We're not going to talk about that. We get political because we're a sport team and I get told to stay in my lane. But I would, if I was a betting man, say that ain't happening.
22 after 6.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowey and Timmy G.
World-class athletics will return to Adelaide over 2 nights on Friday and Saturday, March 13 and 14, with the 2026 Adelaide Invitational.
This is the chance to catch Aussie young gun Cam Myers and Olympians like Lockie Kennedy and Abby Caldwell compete in Adelaide in the build-up to the Com Games.
To win VIP tickets, tune in to Rowey and I from 4 p.m. weeknights or purchase your tickets at intix.com.au.
It's all thanks to Athletics SA, Australian Athletics, and of course 5AA, always Adelaide.
Over 90% already gone. Get your tickets for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery now. Win the $4 million grand prize, a fully furnished Scott Salisbury home in Henley Beach South, including $300,000 cash. Our last lottery sold out early and tickets are already over 90% sold. Get yours now. Life-changing prizes, life-changing impact. homelottery.com.au.
Licence M14894. Imagine waking up to a to-do list that includes
Ace.
Don't you dare. Fancy a dance?
Downsize and upgrade your lifestyle at a Living Choice retirement resort and swap chores for choices. Gotcha. A choice of locations to live, passions to pursue, and ways to feel young again. For a limited time, enjoy a $10,000 lifestyle package. Conditions apply.
To happy days.
Visit livingchoice.com.au.
From the creators of the hit show 27 Club comes 2016, premiering this Adelaide Fringe. With music from David Bowie, Prince, Leonard Cohen, George Michael and more, this electric live show reclaims the year that legends were lost and history was made. With iconic songs brought to life by an all-star band featuring Dusty Lee Stevenson, Jaron J and Kylie Ordus from the Bamboos. 2016 at the Fantail Gluttony, Feb 19 to March 9. Tickets are selling fast, so get yours now at adelaidefringe.com.au.
This Mad March, Adelaide comes together for one massive celebration. Racing, fashion, music and performers collide at Mad March's main event, the Sportsbet Adelaide Cup. From champagne pours and front row views to Club Largo, CC Giddy Up Club and Family Zone fun. Kids under 17 free. Trackside after racing, Shannon Knoll and the Jungle Giants DJ set. General admission from $35. Sportsbet Adelaide Cup, Monday, March 9 at Morfordville.
15 times a day, your Royal Flying Doctor Service comes to the rescue of someone in South Australia. It could be a heart attack, a car accident, or a baby with breathing difficulties. It could be someone you know and love. That's why it's so important to donate on Double Up for Doc Day, March 5, when donations will be matched dollar for dollar to fit out a new aircraft with life-saving medical equipment. Double Up for Doc Day, March 5. To donate, visit flyingdoctor.com.au.
There's a state election on March 21. Most people focus on who wins government. That's the lower house. But the real power check is in the upper house. That's where laws are tested, where decisions are scrutinised, where governments can be stopped, challenged or held to account. If one party controls everything, democracy gets lazy. That's why the upper house matters. I'm Tammy Franks, and democracy works best when government is held to account. Authorised by me, an independent. Tammy Franks, PO Box 21, Semaphore, SA 5019.
Toolkit Depot's Price Beat Promise means you get low prices on your favourite tool brands.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
At 26 after 6, World Class Athletics is back in Adelaide on March 13. So next weekend, it'll be here with the Chemist Warehouse Summer Series Australian Athletics Championships down at Mile End, the SA Athletics Stadium. If you'd like some VIP tickets, we have them on hand. You can get along with a friend. Call in now, 8223 0055. We'll also be broadcasting the show there live that evening. You can find tickets from intix.com.au.
Well done. It was nice, fun little show today, other than the fact that we lost an absolute great. And I think it's a tribute time, and we've done that, isn't it?
No, it was. Sad day. When you lose good people, isn't it?
Oh.
I mean, it's not great at any time, but someone who's done a lot for our sport in AFL.
Yeah. And revered and loved. And all that. Again, I go back to that text to think about the 4th of March, Shane Warne, the great Rod Marsh, and now Dennis Cometti.
Let's skip that. Oh, no, you can't.
4th of March
it's
next year.
It's my beautiful wife's birthday, so let's not skip that.
Is it?
I did notice it. Where are you going? What was that hotel?
No,
restaurant?
we're going to Fugazi.
Fugazi.
Enjoy that.
I went to Africola last night. Oh, boy, wowee. Does your taste buds do a bit of a dance in your gob?
Mouth watering.
I ate pippies for the first time.
Did you?
Yeah, I normally put them on a size 5 hook.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do them with a pasta.
Do you?
Yeah, with a red
Pippy
sauce.
pasta.
Beautiful.
Oh, God. Really?
Absolutely.
You go down to Gawley, you pick your cockles, bring it back and make a pasta. You're a wop.
Okay, 28 after 6.
Rowey and Timmy G, the 5AA Sports Show.
Don't take your right to vote for granted.